buffering. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the what we called again this week? Seekers.
Where the heck are we?
I don't know. I don't know who I am. Seekers Chronicles, Paranormal Historians, and we have some great guests tonight. I got my great host with me again, and so we're going to be talking to you all tonight. So.
Hey,
Any
everybody.
questions in the audience? And we got some evidence. We got some pictures. We got everything tonight. A little bit of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Drawings, Kim's readings. We got everything ready for tonight. So, guys,
Perfect.
you know I'm going to ask. How was your weekends? I think it was wild. So, go ahead.
Kim, how was your weekend?
Wild.
I
had a great weekend.
I know.
I had a great weekend. We went to Bucks County Paracon on Saturday. And we had a surprise few guests. Jenny and I were there, and then Anthony and Ron showed up. So it was like a little para party.
Yeah. But we
Yeah,
had
it
Richard
was a Seekers
there.
Chronicles reunion.
It was because we don't really all go together on different things. Jenny's all over the place, Kim's all over the place, and I'm home on the couch. So, when we get together, it's great. We have a good time. But this weekend was good because not only that, we Ron Iacovetti, Scotty the Medium came up to us. We hung out with Scotty, and we got a bunch of new guests we're booked up to July.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? We're booked
Very
up to July.
cool.
We've got a lot of new guests coming on the show from different states, different countries. So it's gonna be great coming up, and I just can't wait. So
that was a fun little Paracon.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun little Paracon.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, I had a
Complete
great
with
time.
A Sasquatch and an alien walking around.
Yeah, Sasquatch walking around with alien. I sat between the three of them. I said, "This to pointed to the Sasquatch." I said, "That's me before. It's me now." And then I pointed to the alien. That's me in the future. So,
it was fun. It was a good little show. It was nice. Good people, really good people there. And I'm glad. Yeah, like I said, we were just all happy sitting there, and we turn around and there's Anthony.
Yeah. Oh, they got some picture. I should have put it on here of like how you excited you guys just like, and then Kim coming up to you and like just grabbing me. I'm like, oh, that's
we were surprised. We were happy.
I was like, I thought that was great because I mean I wanted to surprise you, but I thought that was great. You guys really responded the way you did.
Kim was like, Anthony. I was like, oh, you again? No.
Yeah. Jenny's like, you again?
No.
What are you doing here?
Stop.
Stop.
So no, it was fun. It was fun. It was my daughter's birthday party over the weekend. She turns 26 today. Shout out to my daughter.
Yeah, I don't get to see everybody. So for me to be out on a Saturday night.
Yeah, you don't get to a lot of them because of the weekends. Yeah, that's for sure. Because Kim's working on the weekends. So
yeah,
the stars align.
You gotta do this to survive.
Funny. So hold on a second. If I'm like delayed or behind.
Yeah,
you're a bit delayed.
Blurry.
Yeah, happy birthday.
You're blurred out.
Yep, delayed and blurred.
Yeah,
delayed and blurred. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought that was my eyes, but I guess not. So,
are you good?
Yeah, it'll work. I'm just give me a second.
Okay.
Just gonna read our lips.
In the meantime, Jenny, you want to introduce our guest?
Oh my gosh, my absolute pleasure to introduce our guest tonight. If you don't know yet from all of our announcements, they are Steve Dills and Tiffany Jones. Let's bring them on.
Hey guys.
Hi. Hey.
Oh God, she's here. Oh my God, she's here.
Yeah, she came in.
Oh.
She's here.
I'm out. Look at Good night, everybody.
She said she had to come to just to break them on you.
I was asked first though, Steve. So there's that.
Yeah, she was asked first. I'm sorry.
Well, it's probably because he's like, I know Steve's very busy, so will you ask on behalf of me? And then he's like, well, I guess you can come too, Tiffany.
No,
There you go.
I'll
I,
ask.
I believe you, Tiffany.
I'm not
I
gonna
believe
get in
you.
between.
Thank you.
I'm not going to get in
believe you.
between you two.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like me and Jenny.
You do a lot.
You know, so
How are you guys?
Good. How about you?
Great. Thank you
Yeah.
for being here. We're so happy that you're on the show tonight.
yeah,
Thank you for
Episode
having us.
21. 21?
Yeah, I'm happy to have
21.
you.
Yeah, no,
21.
22.
22. Oh, excuse me.
I think it says
Lucky
22. It says 22 in the corner on the
22.
top.
Oh, I guess I could pay attention to that.
Getting older
22.
every week.
22 shows already. That's great.
That's good.
Going strong.
You know, and we're still
Busy.
going.
This is going to be
You
a
know?
great one tonight. We're really looking forward to this. And Kim, as you know, does not know the location yet. We keep it an absolute secret from her. And I mean, we really keep it secret. Like if we tell her, we have to kill her, kind of secret.
Yeah.
And
Just get another one.
Got
Get a
it.
replacement one.
yeah, I'm looking for a location medium. No, really, we don't tell her anything. So it's really exciting when she does her readings
Yeah,
because I
she
can
has
see
no
her
idea.
sitting there like, I don't know. So it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I'm excited to know what the Red Roof Inn is.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Red
she
Roof
calls
Inn.
Tiffany, she has no
Chili's names
idea.
it.
And she's what I gave her to read was the aerial shots, so it didn't give any look, didn't give anything, and a couple outside shots, and I think a hallway shot. So there was nothing that
Living
she
room.
could
Yeah, it looked like a
say,
living room.
this is, from this. She's no way she could know the location or even where it's from.
Mhm.
She doesn't even know what state
Right.
it's in.
Yeah.
So that's
No
even
palm
cool.
trees or anything like that.
Yeah,
We've done
yeah.
that before, like cut palm trees out. But I love how she's got a name for it. Like it's the White House, the Red Roof, like that kind of thing.
I'm glad we're a
So-
budget hotel.
Well, I'll let.
Yeah. I was like,
Hey.
interesting. I'll call this the Red Roof Inn.
Hey, you know what?
But
Each
you
their
know,
own.
It
the
has to be
history
his
and
own.
quality doesn't always equate.
We're just your local
true.
pay per hour
So
paranormal
true.
hotel.
So true.
Yeah.
So I would love for one of you to be the one to reveal the location to her. Typically I do it, but I would love one of you as our guest to do it tonight.
Well, and to the audience, because they don't know either.
They don't know
Yeah.
either.
No, the audience doesn't even know because I don't. Even when I put the ads out there, I said
Yeah.
to be announced or to be revealed on the show, the
Right.
night of the show. And of
How
course, Jenny has to correct my spelling all the time. So I
Sorry.
spell everything wrong. I do everything. So
Well,
I
we
know
make
it.
a good pair. How
I
about
spell
Tiffany?
reveal there a little differently than you do, but
It sounds like it.
yeah, it sounds
Um,
like hey, reveal. Hey, isn't it IE?
EAI, whatever.
So,
Tiffany, since he asked you first and we believe you, why don't you reveal the location to everyone?
Yeah,
All
where are we at?
All right. We are at Historic Hanover Tavern in Hanover County, Virginia.
Woo!
Virginia.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
She's
A
like,
little bit of sense.
All
Okay.
right, okay,
We'll see what
okay.
happens.
Watch Kim, yeah.
Actually,
Reveal's turn.
wrapping it right now.
Oh,
Nice.
Cool.
Oh, you are repping. I
Nice.
was repping earlier. I was wearing my
Is
tavern.
there
hoodie.
a reason why it's a wheel? Is that a wheel?
Yeah.
That's do you want to know history?
Go ahead. Or,
Yeah,
that-
lay it
that's
on
what-
us. Lay it on us.
Huh?
We are a history podcast. So
Okay,
let's start
I
with
wasn't
that.
sure if you were
Some questions
ready,
before
Kim.
that. I just like and how they got into the paranormal. That's usually a silly first question,
Okay.
and then we get into everything. No,
All right, that's fine.
we're so excited
Well, yeah.
that to go right with.
Yeah, we skipped over that part. Usually we ask like what y'all about, but I guess we're skipping that tonight.
We were so excited for the history tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So, Tiffany, how you get into paranormal? We do this
Um,
quick so they know.
gosh. Something I've been interested in since I was a child. So I saw my first ghost at 5 years old. It was my grandfather. So I think that just
Wow.
kind of opened it up for me. And it's always been something I've been interested in.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Does it? Well,
That's
were
young.
you scared? Were you scared, or like what happened?
I mean, I was scared at first, waking up in the middle of the night and seeing my grandfather like walking down the hallway that had just like died 2 years before. But then I noticed like weird things would happen around the house. And then,
Yeah.
like most parents, they tell you, oh, it's your imagination, things like that. My parents never said it's your imagination, when I would tell them things would happen. So, they just let me stay open to it. So I never really shut it off. And
Nice.
yeah.
They're just like,
We're
you're
does it run in the
crazy, Jenny.
family? Like they
Well,
weren't surprised? Or?
I wouldn't. I mean, both of my parents have been interested in the paranormal. They fully supported it. They've gone on investigations and tours and stuff like that.
Oh.
So I guess you could say they're definitely supportive of it and believe.
That's
How
great.
nice. That's wonderful. We honestly on the show, we don't hear that a lot. So it warms my heart.
Yeah,
We get a lot of people who are afraid to talk about it or were made fun of or things like that. So that really warms my heart. Good for your parents.
Yeah. So, Steve, were you always
Weird.
paranormal, or
Yeah, I've always been weird.
In utero.
yeah, we know that.
We love weird.
Came out and the doctor's like, "That's one weird baby." So,
Your mother told
You
me.
you came out and they said slap you, they slapped your mother. The hell are you doing here?
Oh dear.
like, what is this?
What is this? What'd you do?
Funny.
It's only dropped 3 times. No, I'm just kidding. So how did I get into the paranormal? So I got into the paranormal very young. My family moved to Virginia. My father had a job opportunity that he just could not pass up. Great opportunity, and so we pretty much packed our bags and moved very quickly. We had to find a house to live in, and so there wasn't a whole lot of time to shop around. My parents just grabbed, something that was close to his work, and that's where we ended up. We knew that it wasn't permanent, and so we were there for about 2 years. And as my mother says, 2 years too long. And as soon as I moved down there, I pretty much got sick right away. I was sick for a number of months. Went to the doctors; they couldn't figure out anything was wrong with me. Nothing, everything was fine. But I was definitely depressed, even as a kid, and a lot of anxiety. My entire world was gone. And granted, first off, I grew up in Jersey and Pennsylvania, so that's where I get all my charm and why Anthony and I get along so well. But everything that I knew and my whole life was gone. And so I think that kind of opened me up to feeling, this anxiety and depression even as a child that led to something. And I still don't exactly, it's hard for me to put a name on it, right? But I ended up getting sick right off the bat. I was, just very lethargic, tired all the time, wasn't eating, all that sort of stuff. And then it started kind of progressing. And so I'd have everything from, it started off with my name being whispered in my ear at night. Then spoken and then yelled as somebody was like yelling into your ear while you're sleeping. I would consistently hear muffled conversations outside of my bedroom door. And even if the door was open, I would just consistently hear them. Sounds of, the piano playing in the middle of the night. To bedroom doors opening and closing, closet doors opening and closing. I would see a doppelganger, not of like a person, but of our family dog.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh my God.
that continued. I would see things in the house. I would have, objects move, appear, disappear, so on and so forth.
Yikes.
And honestly, it scared the ever living shit out of me. I was absolutely terrified of my house. And so, I luckily we moved out in 2 years. My parents
Yeah.
built a new home. We moved out, and everything stopped. And I just, I remember being absolutely terrified. I didn't want to come home. I wanted to stay at school or wherever we were. I didn't want to go in the house. I'd purposely stay away from this house at all, any chance that I could. And so as I grew older, I guess that kind of just instilled that question of like, what was that? What happened? And
Yeah.
why did it happen? Why did it happen to me? And so started, kind of getting interested in the paranormal a little bit more and more and more. And then finally got a car. I was in college and got a car, and off I went. And so a couple years later, we ended up founding Transcend Paranormal. Um, and we've been kind of going ever since. Tiffany joined not terribly long afterwards.
I think about 2013.
Okay, so you're about
Wow.
3 or 4 years. So
Mhm.
because we Transcend started in about 2009, 2010. And so we've been around for a while. We started off with about 3 or 4 members, and we're up to about 30 now.
Wow.
And I realized through that, first off, that I wanted to explore and understand what was going on in the paranormal, but I wanted to do it in a very safe environment with people that I knew and trusted.
Mhm.
Because I've definitely been on one of
Always,
those
yeah.
investigations where I didn't know anybody that was with me, and I'm like, I'm not sure when these lights turn off if they're gonna like, hold my hand or shiv me. I don't know. And so like,
Right.
so
Was
so
it
That's the
prison?
Jersey in
Okay,
you.
I'm just kidding.
yeah, right.
Those
The
Steve
Jersey
does
in
like
New
to hold
York.
hands in the dark.
Yeah, I
There's
just
like a 50% chance here of one of these two things happening. We don't know which.
the lights go off and somebody's laying on the
We've all
floor.
been there.
I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
I don't know what happened.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's kind of what got me into the paranormal is first off me trying to understand what was going on, and then trying to utilize my own battle scars and my own experiences to help other people. And my
Right.
son's here hanging
You
out.
got your little guest down there. Hello.
He's
Hey, how you
welcome to
doing?
hang out.
It's
Hey,
so
how you
interesting,
doing?
Steve. Jenny, this story kind of sounds familiar. It almost is like Al Cooley's book. Have you read Al Cooley's book?
It's
Of
exactly.
Spencer's Ghost?
It's,
You
it's
should read it.
exactly like a book called Spencer's Ghost, by one of our friends, Al Cooley, a podcaster and investigator, and it's
Mhm.
very, very familiar.
That's interesting.
It's
Okay.
It's a great book. It's not
feel
a
like-
autobiography.
I feel like I
but
know
it's-
Al.
It's,
Yeah, he does a lot
Al?
of
Yeah.
Paracons. I think
Does
I
he?
think, I
And
think he was in
he does
Gettysburg a couple
podcasting.
times.
Okay, because I was
That's
gonna say,
nice.
like, I'm pretty sure I know Al.
That name
Um,
sounds familiar. You
Wonderful guy.
probably,
Mhm.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
He's
He's
it's
in Ohio. Wonderful
Okay.
guy, and he wrote a book it's not an autobiography. It's fiction, but it's based on his experiences moving to a house as a young boy,
okay.
and
Mhm.
it's just an excellent book. It's like Stand By Me meets the paranormal. It's really good. You'll
I'll
love
have
his
to-
gang of boys. Yeah,
I'll have to
that
check
hang
it
out.
out.
So.
He basically moved into a haunted house and had crazy experiences for the few years that he lived there with his parents,
Yeah.
and his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I'll utilize that story for presentations and stuff that we give, and so
Mhm.
I always show a picture of the house because I'm like, this is it. I'm not making things up.
Mhm.
And it's funny because a lot of people expect to see some dilapidated kind of
Mhm.
like rundown building. It was actually a fresh build. It sat on the market for a couple years. Nobody bought it. It sat. And my parents we needed to find a house quick. They snagged it, and there we were.
Yeah.
Did Steve ever go back to the old house to ask? I did not. I did not. First off, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be like the weird, be like, hey, excuse me, hi. Can I come into your house? Like,
Yeah, you don't know me, but
Excuse me. do you
My
have
brother
weird things
did that.
going?
After my grandparents died, my brother went into the new owner's house and made them give him a tour of it. And I was like, you are the
Wow.
creepiest person. And they would never have let you in. I was like, what? Why?
yeah. But I
I
mean,
feel
at least he didn't say your house is flipping haunted.
Like-
Well, honestly, they probably have experiences still, and they probably would love for you to come in and validate
Yeah,
something.
It's
like that.
possible. I also don't want to get my parents sued because I think in the state of Virginia you actually have to
Oh.
if something is
Oh.
haunted, I'm pretty sure you have to disclose that as part of the
Mhm.
sale. And I'm gonna knock on wood over here. I don't think my parents did that. So
right. No, I get it.
so
Big
I don't
not
know.
haunted.
Like if I had the opportunity, I'm kind of on the fence as if I would go back in there or not. Like it was some really weird, like personal experiences. And I don't know. It'd be difficult to go back there.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be difficult. I've driven by
Well,
because
you
it's
were
not
a
that far from where I
teenager.
am now.
Yeah. Well, some
You were a
locations where you have
teenager when
really
this was
bad
happening?
experiences like that.
I was actually
Yeah.
I was in elementary school, so I
Yeah.
was
was
pretty
little.
young. Yeah,
Oh, so
I
much
was younger.
younger. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I
Wow.
mean,
So
you have
what?
a good experience when you were a kid in a location. I know other people that, had experiences and they're in the field now, but they won't go back to that one location where they had the experience because I guess it's more traumatizing to them, even though they're out in the field, but maybe they don't want to
Yeah.
go back because it brings back stuff that, in the field you'll get certain things, but now you're at a certain age. But back then it was a little more traumatizing for you.
Sure.
Oh God, yeah. I
You
mean,
know?
this was my very first experience with the paranormal. Like I
Sure.
didn't have any idea what was going on, and everything absolutely terrified me. I mean,
Yeah.
it got so bad in terms of the level of activity throughout the evenings that I ended up sleeping in the guest bedroom that was directly next to my parents' bedroom.
Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah.
afraid. Like the bedroom, like my bedroom was one of the farthest bedrooms away from everybody else. It was the weirdest layout I've ever seen in a building, which is probably why it like never sold or a house. And you walk up the stairs and like there's a guest bedroom to the right. The master bedroom is directly ahead, and then you have to turn down a hallway and then take another left and turn and go all the way down that hallway. And at the very end, there's my bedroom. Like
Oh,
way the
wow.
hell down there, and I'm like,
Like a
oh my
nightmare.
god, it was yeah, it was, and so I ended
Maybe
up like
maybe there's a reason they want to get you away from them. I was like, get him down there, get him away from us. He's a pain,
pain in the ass. Just
Well,
Oh
it's
my
so
gosh.
interesting,
Yeah, that's
Steve.
crazy.
My first paranormal experiences also were in a house that I continued to have these negative experiences. It was actually my ex's house at the time, and I did the exact same thing. I moved to the bedroom. I said I can't stay in this bedroom anymore, and I moved the bedroom across from his parents' room. I was like, because I just felt I had to be closer to people. It was the craziest thing, and same thing. I stopped going there. I said, I can't explain it. I can't be in this house anymore. And that was the first house that I ever had experiences in. Night terrors, horrible things. And honestly, I haven't had those experiences anywhere else, but it was the first place that like opened me up. That was like, something is happening. Something is real.
yep.
Right.
And
You were an
I've
adult,
never
though.
experienced
I
anything
mean,
as consistent.
I was an adult. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
debatable.
I mean, he was a child. I mean, oh my gosh.
I was a little baby.
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
terrifying.
Have you thought what you experienced was poltergeist activity? Maybe I'm not sure. Like I don't particularly think I had a bad childhood. Like I don't know. Like the only thing I can think of is my dad was away a lot because his job was very demanding and it required him to travel outside of the country. But like beyond that, there wasn't anything that was necessarily evil or bad or traumatizing. Even that, it was just understood that dad's got to travel and he'll be back, in a couple of
Yeah.
days.
Right.
So I don't know if it was just like my own creation of, I'm leaving the place that all of my, my aunts and uncles, my grandparents are all, we were all within about an hour drive. And then, a couple hours, 8 hours later, 6 hours later. And, it'd be like once a year we'd see them as opposed to seeing them, almost, at least a couple of times a month, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I don't know if it was just that, and it was, I honestly, I think that was probably it, is me getting in that mental state, and then I was just easy prey, easy pickings, baby, easy pickings.
Yeah, you were vulnerable at that age for sure.
Yeah, you're
I
young.
feel so badly. I mean, Tiffany's like, I saw my grandpa and my parents were great. And you're like, I was sick. I was upset. I was like, I'm so sorry.
It's good character building. It's fine.
Wow.
It's a story. Like,
Right. Tiffany,
that's
what was your
awesome.
first investigation? Like what, I guess I just want to know the next step. When did you start in actually investigating?
I actually started investigating like in my 20s. even after like my parents divorced, my mom and I actually moved into a house that was behind her now ex-husband's house. And that house was actually used as part of a Civil War hospital. So
Wow.
that house was built in the 1800s and we lived there. My mom and I had stuff like calling our names. I thought that she was calling me. She thought I was calling her, vice versa. I even saw a woman in white walk by. So it was something like we were all just completely open to. And I mean, just no one ever shut anything down for me. And so as I got older and realized that paranormal investigating was something that you could actually do, I took it and ran with it. You know, I got friends, you know, we would go sneak off to battlefields, and, you know, even trying to form my own teams back and forth. And it wasn't until like my cousin actually put me in touch with one of our team members, Rhonda, and you know, she and I became friends, got introduced to Transcend, and we're now like on a legit team and not a team that's just trying to like start up. But yeah, so I guess 20 years I've been investigating.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're young.
Awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, you bring up a good point though about like how it wasn't like thought of as unusual in your family growing up. I mean, honestly, that is the reality. That is reality. Like that's all around us. It's happening all the time. Some places a little bit more than others. So, I mean, I think it should be more of just like, oh yeah, this is happening, blah, 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 and just accept it.
Yeah. And like, even today, like even when my aunts who, you know, are older and they're like, did you go on any investigations? What did you get?
I love it.
Like, you know, are always
Love
asking
that.
questions.
The
And
cool aunts.
yeah, so they're always like, that's so cool. Like, I'd love to do it one time. And, you know, so everybody just in my family has really just embraced it. But even though I did come from like a strict Christian family and, you know, usually they frown upon it, like everyone in my family has been very open and accepting of it,
nice.
and not been like, oh my God, you're a devil worshiper, or, you know, things like that. So
Sure.
I mean, I guess in that sense, very, very lucky, but
Yes.
you know,
I try to make up for that though.
Yeah,
'cause,
you do.
You know, there's nobody.
you
There's
do.
nobody that's really harassing or bothering Tiffany and her fam. So
You give
I've
a
got
hard
her.
time.
So
I
you
call
got
him
it,
the
yeah.
little brother I never
you
wanted.
gotta do it. You know, you gotta fill in there where you see those gaps. So.
Yeah, you got to wait.
He does it well.
I love
Bring
it.
it back to reality, you know.
And you
I
know
do.
that my
This-
head, you know, is just out there floating, and he's got to reel me back in.
This
I love
location
it.
has a lot of history. Jenny, you want to bring up the
Actually,
history?
we have historians with us tonight, so I'm going to let them start. Steve, you said you were going to dive right in, so why don't I let you start and we can
As you
go
guys
from
are
there.
talking, I'm going to show some pictures. First picture I'm going to show is, look at these two
Oh.
sexy guys
Oh golly!
showing their
Trauma.
chest.
I mean,
Trauma.
Look at that.
Trauma.
it
I'm
can
actually-
only
Oh,
go
boy.
downhill from here.
See, we were
Yeah.
showing our cleavage.
Uphill, only uphill.
Chef's kiss. Oh, beautiful.
Okay, it was very nice talking to you guys. I'll see you later.
Okay, nice
You can
to
see
meet
what kind of
you.
show we have.
You didn't know it was that kind of show.
Nope.
The rest
That
of the
is
set, we're actually
paranormal.
we're gonna be
Right.
you guys didn't know this, but Anthony and I are we're gonna make a huge announcement tonight, and we're actually the rest of those pictures, that whole set is on Anthony and I's very new OnlyFans. So make sure you go and check.
Oh. You heard it here, folks.
Okay.
Anthony's like, yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
Y'all, this is what I deal with on a daily
Very
basis.
good.
Tiffany, I feel your pain.
Thank you.
Anthony
you.
is my partner.
Yeah.
Area.
We go everywhere together.
Seekers
Seekers
after
after
hours.
hours. Yeah.
See?
Paranormal OnlyFans.
Why not?
Our-
We got the Seekers
our
Cover
audience
Paranormal. We got the
loves it.
Seekers Chronicles. Why not Seekers after dark?
Trust me, our audience loves it.
After dark. Oh Lord.
Seeker, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh
we were-
my
As you're gonna
god!
tell,
We-
I'm going to show
see?
pictures.
We should have
And
gone
so
right
we
to
can
the
start.
history to begin with. We wouldn't have
Okay.
done.
We
I'm
went
going to
south.
start the history. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you pictures and tell
Yeah,
me
let's-
what you see.
Let's
Please.
see it. Let's
These
let's
guys are experts
see
on this place.
this building.
Oh gosh.
This
so
is the old
beautiful.
building?
Mhm.
Such a
See?
beautiful building.
It really is.
Do you want me to share some history while
I
we're
do.
Yeah,
please.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm
Only
putting out
because you
there.
are
Alrighty.
really a historian.
Let's do it.
So
Let's
So
do this.
so this is actually considered the second tavern. We don't have a picture. We have an artistic rendering of what the first Hanover Tavern would have looked like. However, this is the second tavern. The original tavern was built in around 1733. We know that because we had a license to operate a tavern on site. That tavern was a small one-story building, very, very tiny. And it wasn't until about 1791 that the tavern owners at the time decided that they needed a little bit more space. And so what you see here is actually the oldest known picture of the Hanover Tavern. You can
Wow.
see that there's
I
two chimney
love
stacks. Yeah.
it.
I know.
Isn't that wild?
Look at the horses.
Oh my God.
Kim.
Kim loves horses. See,
Kim's a veterinarian. She works with horses.
Aw.
so look.
And there's
You know
a
what I
dog
find
here
in this
too.
picture too? You got
So
I'm allowed being an electrician. I see the old type of the power
Oh
line.
yeah. I just
Yeah.
noticed that. That's so cool.
yeah.
Oh
And
Oh my
so
God, there's a little something for all of us, Anthony, here.
So you'll see that there's two sets of chimney stacks here in this picture. There's two on the right hand side, and then there's technically two on the left hand. But the two on the right hand side is what we're going to focus on first. That is considered the home portion. So the tavern is actually not one building; it's actually two buildings that were connected. And so on the right hand side, those two chimney stacks is the home portion of the building. That was built in 1791 and is the oldest portion of the Hanover Tavern as it stands to date. So that's 1791. And then the piece that's on the left-hand side, and you're seeing just one of the wings that kind of juts out. There's another portion of the tavern on that backside there. And that dates back to 1820s, 1821, 22, I believe. Is that correct, Tiff? I'm saying that right. 1820s.
1820, 1825. No,
And
1823.
so
Yeah, sorry.
this is the new tavern. This is considered the new tavern. The old tavern, remember, was back in around 1733, much smaller, and taverns at that time were not just a place for guests to stay, but also where the owner of the tavern typically would have lived, right? So it's not just you living in a home; it's you plus all of your favorite, new friends and family and strangers and all that sort of stuff. And so, it wasn't until a little bit later that they, I guess I would have presumed, you know what, we need some space. They built the home, and then a little bit later they built the new tavern. The old tavern was about 100, just shy of 100 years old. We know that it
Wow.
was not burnt down in a fire, or there was no, disaster to the building. We think it was just probably old and starting to get dilapidated. So they built the new tavern. And then in 1830s, they actually connected the two. So between those two sets of chimney stacks, that was actually a big open space up until 1830. And so they were two separate buildings that stood next to each other. And then eventually they were connected into what I refer to as our Frankenstein building. They were connected. And so in that little area, there's actually a bunch of steps up and down and this way and that way and all that sort of stuff because they did not build those two buildings level. So, but that is kind of like the outside, if you will. Now, the fun fact about this is actually a picture of our backyard.
Mhm.
That's the back.
That
That's
is
the back.
that is the back. But what you see right there is a road, right? You see the horses standing there, the buggy and all those folks. That is what is known as Route 301, which is one of the kind of like the first highways that went through. And even before 301, there was a stagecoach road here that connected Richmond to Washington, D.C. and Baltimore and Philadelphia and all that sort of, everything up north. And so the tavern was on one of those lifelines. It was on, this stagecoach road. And so the stagecoach road was actually on the other side of the tavern, which was the front of the tavern. And then at some point, they decided that they wanted to drive through our backyard. I don't know why. I'm not sure why. But they moved 301 or that stagecoach road to this side. So we're actually looking at the back. And Anthony, when you came down and joined us, 301 is literally this road. It's just now paved. So when you drove up, you actually were driving through our backyard, and I was yelling at you. I was like, "Get out of my yard, Anthony!"
We'll be the first to get chased out of somebody's backyard.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the first, and it won't be the
And it
last.
will not be the last. Yeah, sure of that.
So the front of the tavern is the other side, and the cool thing about this is this tavern, even in its time right now in 1830s and even before then, it served a huge purpose. What you don't see, and I think I shared some of the aerial shots, and maybe it's in a picture there, but on the other side of the street, so on the side that we're, if we were taking the picture, the side that we're on right now, right behind us is the third oldest courthouse in America. And it is the very same courthouse that a young Patrick Henry argued Parsons' cause.
Wow.
Anybody got their elementary school history? Anybody remember what that whole Parsons' cause was about?
Are you
No.
kidding me? Elementary school didn't teach us history.
We love learning on
It was
the
Middle school,
It
middle
was-
school, anything.
They taught us how to use
I do
weapons.
remember it, actually.
So
little
Parsons'
bit.
cause was
It was a-
taxation
right.
without representation,
Right.
and so it was all about the farmers in the land actually getting taxed for a really bad year of growth. They couldn't grow any tobacco. There was a drought, but they were still getting taxed the same amount of money, despite the fact that they didn't have the product and the produce. So it was a huge set of cases all up and down the colonies, and Patrick Henry just so happened to be the first, and that led to a water slide effect. He technically didn't win. Because instead of being taxed, they were still taxed, but they were taxed 1 penny. And so, but what that did was it sparked, or it was a very early spark of the American Revolution, which was right here at Hanover Tavern. And the reason that I share this is, first off, just because the courthouse is right here, but secondly, because Patrick actually worked at the tavern for a period of time. Patrick married into the Shelton family, and John and Tiffany. What's her mother's name?
Oh my God.
Eleanor.
Yeah.
Eleanor. John and Eleanor Shelton gave birth to a daughter, Sarah Shelton, and Sarah and Patrick ended up getting married. Patrick had a number of kind of failed business startups, and so he ended up with Sarah, married, living at the tavern, the original tavern, where he ended up being a bar boy and an entertainer. He played the fiddle for guests. And circuit court back then, it would come in once a month. And so because of that, if you got arrested for something the day after circuit court, guess what? You're in there all month long until your case can be tried. And so not only do we have the courthouse, but we also have a jail that dates back to 1865. That's right there on the property as well.
Is that the white building?
Huh?
Is that the
It's a
white
stone
building
building.
behind?
No, it's the stone structure that's on the other side. I don't think I sent you any pictures of those. I apologize.
You sent me a map. So here's a map.
Yeah, so here's this is perfect. So we have our tavern, and then we've got 301 right here. We've got our courthouse directly across, which again is the third oldest courthouse in America, and that is where Patrick
It's
Henry
the
argued
second.
Parsons. No, it's the
Right.
third. King William is the second, and there's one in New Jersey that's the first. Dirty Jersey, baby. We got the
Yeah.
first.
There you go. That's where I am.
Yeah,
That's
we've
where
got
Kim
gold
and I
stuff.
are.
Yeah,
Kim and I are in Jersey.
more jails in
Um,
Jersey. Yeah. I'm not going to
I
get
was-
into that.
I was born in Jersey, so I feel
So
it.
Patrick
Um,
Henry, I mean,
I'm sorry to
thing
hear.
about-
My condolences.
wasn't his father a judge? This
Yes.
is just random.
Yeah. No,
Like, I don't know
Patrick
why.
Henry's father was a judge.
It's
Yes.
coming back to me. And I mean, so that must have really launched his career, because you're saying he was working as a, I mean,
Well, prior to that, I don't think he and this this is me just kind of thinking on it, but I'm not sure that if he found his passion for law looking at his father as kind of a figure to look up
Oh,
to.
right. I mean, winning
Um,
Parsons call. Well, not winning, but winning that penny
Yeah.
tax, I think, must
Oh,
have
yeah,
really
yeah,
launched
yeah.
his career. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
100%. It was,
definitely. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he was heavily influenced by his family as well. His mother, when Patrick was young, would go to a place called Pole Green Church, which is right up the road, and he would sit and listen and watch a man by the name of Samuel Davies, who started some of the very first reading rooms in America, right up the road. And Samuel Davies was a very, very, strong, loud speaker. He was very brash, and I think Patrick probably picked up a lot of that even as he was young, and then took that in with him when he ended up making his way into law, because he'd see all of these, attorneys and lawyers and judges make their way in to the tavern, and he'd serve them and listen to them talk. And next thing you know, he decided he's wanted to be a public servant.
Yeah.
And so Patrick ends up, not only working at the tavern, but then, kind of being one of those very early sparks of the American Revolution just across the street.
For sure.
Interesting.
And so, I mean, you can see on the map that Anthony had up, it's all very close. It's a county complex, and it's very rare to have all of these buildings still intact today. We still
Mhm.
have the Clerk of Courts building,
Yeah.
which we investigate pretty
Mhm.
often, the courthouse, which we investigate, the jail, which we investigate, and the tavern. So we have all four of these buildings are still here in Hanover County, and we call it the Hanover County Court Complex.
Wow.
But we have the ability to investigate them. Obviously, the tavern is, where we spend most of our time, but we do have the ability to investigate all of these
Mhm.
as we, kind of move through the property. So it's
Yeah.
it's
If
a
you
really
guys,
unique
anybody
experience.
in the audience is down that area, Hanover, they actually do tours.
Yeah.
Ghost tours, and you could go
Nice.
investigate all
Yeah.
those buildings in a night. So if anybody in the audience down that area, Hanover, Virginia, you got to go here.
And
Yeah,
we're
my next tour,
Tip-
because I give the ghost tours.
And
So
Tiffany dresses up
I
beautifully.
I do. Yeah,
Love
it's
that.
fun.
You look great.
Thank
Was
you.
so the courthouse and the jail and the clerk house were built after 301, or when were they built?
they all would have been there.
Is that you?
That's
Oh, look
me.
at Tiff. Tiff,
Aw,
you're dressed
love
up
it.
as
I was Margaret White that
Margaret
day.
White.
I was
Okay.
helping with the fourth grade field trips.
Oh,
It's cool.
look great.
And Margaret White is a
Oh, good.
historical figure at the tavern. She played a very important role during the Civil War. There. I'm sorry. What was it? I don't remember the question.
Oh, she was
Yeah,
asking if the
oh,
buildings were built
Kim was
after
asking.
301.
Yeah,
or
when
Oh.
after
was
one
when was
built.
like the
Yeah.
jailhouse built and
The jail was
or the courthouse
1865.
built?
Is
Yeah.
1860.
Okay.
The
Courthouse was
Courthouse.
1740 something. I can't remember. I think it was 1745.
And I think the Clerk of Courts would have been right around the same time, because they
Mhm.
would have used both of those buildings in parallel.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it sounds like the tavern was there, and then shortly after that, they started making it like the town center, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to, as you're talking to, I'm going to show pictures of the inside of the building also.
Oh, good. Good.
And I know Blair had a question. How do young children do at the property as kids up until 12 or close to Spirit World? I think they do fine. I mean, we don't have anything negative there at the tavern that I've ever come in contact with. My kids are up there all the time. Tiffany's kid is up there all the time. We have other team members that have kids. We have weddings and all sorts of events. We actually have one of my favorite events is Autumn Fest, and it's a family friendly event. We bring in a number of bands. We have a full restaurant and bar and scratch kitchen at the tavern, so we
Oh.
make a bunch of food, and we
it's
smoke all
delicious.
these sorts of meats.
The food is very good, believe me.
We
And
love
kids do-
food.
Kids do great.
They really do. Aria
yeah,
loves running around the tavern. She'll even go in there in the dark. She doesn't care. She's not scared.
That's
Is the
great.
jail haunted? The jail is very active. The jail used to be, I would say, one of the most active locations on the property. I personally think that the tavern has started to take the title on that one, though, as the years have progressed, because we've investigated the tavern for, oh God,
It's been a 10 plus years.
yeah, over a decade at this point.
Yeah.
It's gotten more and more active over the years in terms of
Yeah.
level of activity. So it started off with us just getting EVPs, and then we'd start hear things, footsteps, and all those sorts of fun stuff. And now we're seeing full body apparitions and having things interact with us on a more
Wow.
frequent basis than prior. So it's definitely picked up over the years, but it's not anything it's not like in your face. You know, you can go and have a wedding and you can be perfectly fine. But on the flip side, if you go and investigate, you'll probably get something trying to interact with you.
Yeah, well, you guys keep on giving
Oh,
tours
cool.
and everything, so you're amping up whatever activities there by bringing other people's energies in there
Yeah.
and it amps it up.
Fair.
That's the whole basic. When you're going to see more activity through the years because the more you're bringing people in and doing all these events and stuff, that's what's going to happen. So
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's part of it.
definitely have
part of it.
activity on my ghost tours, and my ghost tours are from like 8 to 10, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And we saw my last ghost tour was just like about 2 weeks ago, and my guests saw a shadow go by.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that's cool.
I like Mary Beth's question. Are the spirits friendlier in the tavern than at the jail?
Huh? No, it's a
Tim,
good question.
how do the spirits of the jail feel about I don't know, me?
is this a censored thing? Can
I don't know.
here?
I don't know.
Yeah,
We're on
this-
YouTube. You can say what you want.
Don't drop the soap.
Okay, they fucking hate Steve.
Oh, really?
They will
Why?
literally, it doesn't matter who's in there. Like if we are doing an EVP session, an SC session, they are literally cussing Steve out at every chance they get. Steve
Really?
doesn't even have to step foot into the building for
So
us
they
to
love me.
get- Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe you remind him of somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you remind him of a
The
jailer.
warden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
The warden.
he's from Jersey, get him.
Yeah. Garrett, we don't like those
Those
Yanks.
Yanks.
Those yanks. Oh, you're
But
right.
yes, the spirits of the tavern, we've never had, I mean, I can't think of a time that we've had anything negative occur in the
No.
tavern.
No.
It's always been friendly, even to the point that we in the theater have what we believe to be a younger girl, and she'll roll the ball back and forth with you on occasion.
Oh.
So like
It's awesome.
Nice.
How did
we
this
don't
thing
have
go?
anything necessarily outright negative or evil. I don't even think we have anything mean, and I really hope that is. I guess I interpret that as we're doing a good job representing the building and its history and the people
Mhm.
that were there, and we're doing it
Right.
service. The jail is a different. It's different entirely.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Sure.
If I send you a picture, Anthony, can you pull it up onto the thing here?
I'll try.
Okay. I'll find a picture, but the jail is a completely different beast altogether. The jail is the second oldest jail on the property. The first one was a wooden jail that would have had all of your debtors. It was a debtor's prison or debtor's jail. The very that
Oh, the
that
debtor's
first
jail. Yes.
wooden
Yeah.
building.
Great to those.
And there really wasn't. I mean, if you missed a payment on your mortgage, that's where you'd spend time.
Right.
So we've all probably done that at least once, and so it was it wasn't the greatest, but it was a wooden structure. They had all of the niceties and amenities that you would hope for.
Right.
The stone jail was a completely different place. The stone jail was for your murderers, your thieves, your rapists. Unfortunately, it also included your runaway slaves, because
Mm.
this was Hanover. This was a thing, and so I'm sending these to you right now, Anthony. Let me find the chat. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, guys.
But they would have been
ahead, Tiff.
crowded
Thank you.
in there.
Sure.
Like, the windows were open, so they just had the bars there. So these prisoners were, exposed to extreme heat, extreme cold. So, and like I said, just completely overcrowded. It's a very small building to begin with. And then you've got to, fit however many, prisoners in there. Then you've got like your wardens and, all of that in this one small area. And then
Yeah.
at one point they did the public hangings when it was court day, and when public hangings were outlawed, they actually moved the hangings into the jail.
Oh.
So yeah, it's a very interesting building to say the least, but very compact. So like I said, however many people are in there waiting trial, you've got just people on top of each other and making it very uncomfortable. So besides for, these people were probably, some of them were mean to begin with, then on top of all of that, you're just making them even more angry.
Right.
So,
That's
Right.
terrible.
yeah, it was terrible conditions. No matter what you did, it was still terrible conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
like Tiff said, it was a very small building. Anthony, I sent you pictures. So hopefully you'll be able to pull some of these
Yeah,
up.
I'm
Sorry for
trying
not
to
sending them
do that
sooner.
now.
But it's a very small building. It contained 4 rooms, 2 downstairs and 2 upstairs. The 2 downstairs were community cells, and so like Tiffany said, they would just stuff you and however many friends that you made that evening into this cell. They had one more cell upstairs and then a room upstairs for the warden and guards, and so you'd be in there with all of your new favorite friends.
Oh,
If you were, acting out or rowdy, you would be placed into a confinement cell, not a solitary confinement cell because it was a small building, but it was a iron. There you go. So that is the jail.
Oh yeah, it is tiny.
You can see it's not very big.
No.
I couldn't pull any pictures. I got to find some from inside. I just couldn't see any quite yet. But you had this very small iron cell inside of one of these community rooms that could fit 2 people maximum. And so, like Tiff said, not only were there public execution outside during circuit court sessions, but once that was outlawed, they were brought inside into this building. And in fact, those 2 windows that are on the right-hand side of the building, if you're looking at the door, the one on the right, there's 2 windows there. You would have stood at that top window, right before you were pushed, and then you would have dropped down to where that bottom window is.
Oh.
Oh my
I
god.
just sent a couple of pictures, Anthony, if you want to pull them up.
Yeah,
And
you sending me pictures.
that where they would have been hung inside of the building is now where the stairs to go upstairs are.
Oh my god.
There's
Yeah,
new stairs that
so-
were in there, not the original ones, but
I can imagine
it's
it's
a darker
pretty
place.
heavy in here in this place.
Yeah, and it's a shame because there are some people. I mean, there are definitely some folks that were placed in here that by all intents and purposes should have been there, right? We know
Right.
that there were rapists that were placed into this building. We also know that there were runaway slaves and people that should have never been in that position. And that's the thing about history is to me being able to teach it and learn from it so that we don't make the same mistakes from the past. And so that's why I like to talk about it, because these are things that happen. This is actual factual things. We know, for example, that a small African American girl actually ended up passing away in the jail. She got into a fight with one of the plantation owner's young son. Tiff, how old was she? She was like, what, 8 or 9?
Yeah,
Oh.
actually, she was hung.
And she was 8 or 9, and
Oh my god.
she got into a fight, just a fight. And these are kids. I have an 8-year-old at home right now, an 8-year-old
Right.
daughter. So same age. She got into a fight with a boy that was just so happened to be a plantation owner, and because of where we were in history at that time, she was unfortunately hung there on the property. And
Horrible.
so, we try to keep all of this in mind when we go and investigate, because it's not only just bad people, right? there were people there that were forced into these conditions against their will.
Mhm.
And that's not just the tavern, or excuse me, that's not just the jail, but it's the entire property. This was a colonial tavern, so we know that there were enslaved individuals that were all throughout this whole area.
Yeah.
And so we try to pay homage to that. And Tiffany, you probably can share a little bit about it too. But we pay homage to that in the form of sharing a story about an enslaved cook that was there, Martha Ann Fields, and she is a phenomenal, inspirational woman, and
It
has
really
an
is.
amazing story. I mean, Tiff, do you know her story? If you want to share it,
Yeah,
you're welcome
I
to.
know her story. So Martha Ann Fields, the person that originally owned the tavern, the lady did promise to never sell her, Martha Ann's children. She had about, I think, 7 children.
The
And she
Winston
had,
family.
yeah. So unfortunately, when the lady passed away, the people that took over decided to sell her children. So, her children were sent all over the place. But when, the slaves were trying to leave and everything, Martha Ann was lucky enough to take the kids that she did have and leave. And over the years,
Including a newborn, by the way.
including a newborn, make a trek, sending each of her children by themselves across the river in a very small boat to get to safety, because some other, Union soldiers were helping her and her family escape. Now, there were other Union soldiers and families that were actually able to find all of her family, and she got reunited with all of her children.
Oh, nice.
And
Including her
Wow.
husband.
including her husband, and her son was one of the first African American lawyers.
George Washington
George
Fields.
Washington Fields, yeah.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He has a
yep.
book.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's
Yep.
absolute
Oh, yeah.
amazing, inspirational story. I've gotten to the point that, I know it sounds bad, I can't listen to her story anymore because I just start crying.
Yeah, I just got chills, really,
Yeah,
big time.
and it-
I mean, and I was thinking, I had trouble taking my kids to the supermarket. She put them in a river across to be
Yeah.
freed. I mean, the things we take for granted, and that's Steve's point. We can't forget these things.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
we
it
have
was
to-
some of the most horrible things. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You've got all these kids, and then what she had 8 children, I think, and
Mhm.
2 or 3 of them were sold off to other plantations. 1 to Georgia, and 2 a little bit further west in Virginia. And the Union Army came through, and they're like, if you're going, you got to go now.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
she tried to keep up, but by the time that they got down, they were heading to Fort Freedom Monroe in Hampton Roads, Virginia. And by the time that they got to the river, the corpse had already removed the bridge to get across. And so that's when, like Tiffany said, they had to take a canoe. And she was so lucky that she had an uncle at a nearby plantation that in the cover of dark was able to one by one take them across the river. And this is all
Unbelievable.
she had. What George Washington Fields was what
He was, sorry.
2 or 3.
Not to worry. It's going to
He
happen to
was.
me.
Yeah,
Too.
we have it all the time, so that's about it.
All the time to me.
That's funny.
Hi, Kiki.
All the time.
But he was like 2 or 3, and one of his first, because he like Tiff said, wrote an autobiography. George Washington Fields, what was it? Born a slave in Hanover County, Virginia.
Mhm.
And one of his first memories is of his mother being pulled out from the cabin that they were staying in, and being whipped in front of all of the other enslaved individuals because she slightly overcooked a chicken.
Yeah, I remember.
That was it. And that was his first memory. That was his first memory.
That's
And it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
It really
And
is.
so we have, we have a plaque up that talks about the Fields family, and
Mm.
Oh, nice.
Martha Ann would have actually cooked at the tavern. So we try to pay homage to her and her family and their plight.
we really
nice.
do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great.
That's
we got a
really,
lot of
really
stuff
nice.
here.
We sure
Like,
do.
we're halfway through the show already.
I know, and we
gotta
got
go.
this
We
is
gotta
what
show other
happens to
stuff
us.
too. The other stuff, you know.
We got stuff
Yeah.
to show.
So now let's get to the haunting part of it.
Yeah.
I know we could talk all day about the history.
I know,
And we
the
love
history-
it. And
And
so
you know,
would
we
we.
got to get you
But
guys back on just for
we
the
love
history
it.
part.
Yeah.
I mean, if we had a
because, wow.
4-hour show, we got 2 hours history and 2 hours of haunting.
And
For real,
believe
though.
me, Steve and I could talk for hours about the history.
And
that-
we
that-
would
that's
love
awesome.
it.
When you're so
So good.
passionate about something, you could talk days
Yeah.
if you had to.
Yeah.
It's like, you
but
know,
it's
when I talk about the
fascinating.
paranormal, I do the same thing. So it's crazy how
It's
when
like
you get
when
to
he
history.
talks about cannoli. Trust me.
Cannolis, hey, some cannolis
Yeah,
and
he goes
some.
on and on and
Oh.
on and on.
Yeah,
It's like,
You know
cannoli.
what? You can't find a good cannoli down here in Virginia.
No.
Every time we go up, we got to get a cannoli somewhere.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
you
Come
got
visit.
barbecue and stuff down there, fried stuff. You know,
yeah,
come up with a
yeah. But
cannoli.
you get a cannoli, you go to a diner. You can't get any good. There's no good diners down here. You got to go to a good diner. You go up to like New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, you guys closed it like at 5 o'clock. There's nothing open. I'm like, what are you going on? Let's come on.
You know what? Real quickly, before I forget, you mentioned we were talking about debtors' prisons, and you know we have them here in New Jersey. Burlington Prison was also a debtors' prison, and in Burlington County. But it reminded me, did Charles Dickens not stay at the Hanover Tavern? Speaking of debtors' prisons and the Marshalsea Prison, and
Charles Dickens did visit the Hanover
okay,
Tavern.
one of my favorite authors, so I had to go there.
So Charles
Okay.
Dickens did. Edgar Allan Poe would have
I
swung
like
by.
it.
Huh.
We had George Washington.
Marquis de Lafayette.
Yep, our favorite Frenchman, Marquis de
Just
Lafayette.
that, wow,
Rochambeau.
right?
Tiffany Jones. I don't even know Anthony
Whoa,
Manelli. You know,
what? Anthony
We got some-
Simonelli.
some
Yeah.
really big names. P.T. Barnum. You know, just all the big names. So
I did not know Edgar Allan Poe. I had heard about Charles Dickens, and you reminded me with the debtor's prison about Dickens, of course. So interesting.
So
There you go.
we had
Fun facts. Fun
a
facts.
lot of because the tavern was there, throughout the American Revolution.
Right.
It
Mhm.
played a part in the Civil War as well. So it's had a huge chunk of history. It's in a very pivotal spot in Hanover County, which is just north of Richmond, right? The White House of the South, being
Right.
in Richmond. So it was a very important place for the Confederacy, right? And so you
Sure.
had a lot of movement through there, especially during the Civil War and also during the Rev War, folks making their way up and down the coast and heading towards Yorktown and so on and so forth. So there was a lot of people that would have walked through its doors.
Cool.
yeah,
That's interesting. Fun facts.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome when it has a lot of history and stuff.
Yeah.
But you guys send me this thing, and I've been watching it all night, and I can't wait to share it.
He's been talking about this.
I
all day.
haven't told them what it's about, and it's a thing with it has 3 different camera angles of the same room, and the same thing happens, and it's crazy, and I'm like,
He's like, I watched it 100 times today.
how's that going?
It's
Yeah,
the
I've been
most,
watching it all night. I'm just like going back and forth. I even hear EVPs in one of them, but
Telling you.
that's not what it's
Yeah.
about. But
Okay.
yeah, this is pretty cool.
But should we
And-
still turn our volume up?
Well,
Or we
it's
good?
not. Most of it, it's not it's what do you call it?
It's visual,
closed
is-
circuit.
Visual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's visual is going to be your biggest hint if you guys
Yeah,
haven't seen it
yeah.
yet.
Yeah,
It's
most-
not
most
anything
of it's
just
audible.
visual. It's all visual. Yeah.
I can't
And I just can't wait. And just the angles of the camera and the different location of the room, and you're seeing the same thing happen. It's like, whoa, this
So
is
where-
a little
where is this?
long. It's
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. Where is it? Is
Yeah,
this in
where-
the living
where
room
is
area?
it?
That living space?
This
So-
would have been. Go ahead.
Go ahead, you can go, Tiff.
This would have been like their dining room area.
no, not wrong one.
Not that one. That was
Not
that.
that.
Well,
We
we
can
we can talk about them because that's an important piece to this too.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have
Um,
to now show that. Like, no,
Yeah,
and show
nah,
my
come on.
video.
So we'll have to
Man.
talk amongst yourselves for a minute. We're gonna dive into history again real quick. So
Okay,
All
here.
good.
These guys I think are important.
Yeah, these
yes.
guys are important.
So this is Pete and Nancy Kilgore on the left hand side, and Muriel McCauley on the right hand side. These three folks are a small set of 6 individuals that came down in the 1950s from New York, and they were the Barksdale Theater Troupe. So they were looking for a place to call home and a place to open up the very first dinner and a show location. The very first place that you could go and grab a bite to eat and then go see a theatrical performance afterwards. They were traveling down 301, and lo and behold, they passed a very dilapidated looking building, and they decided that would be the one for them. And so the Hanover Tavern received its new inhabitants. Prior to that, it was pretty run down, and without them, it would have been kind of it. And so in the 1950s, they moved in. They had 6 folks, a couple of kids, 2 dogs, 2 goats, I think a pig, just a slew of random animals. And they move in. They make the top floor their home. They make the second floor kind of their hangout area. And in one of the rooms, which you'll see the video coming up, they turned into a dining room. They would have had their kitchen in this area. But they revitalized the tavern. And if it wasn't for the Barksdale Theater Troupe, there probably wouldn't be a tavern today. It probably
This
would have
is very
fallen into the
true.
ground.
I bless these people who do this.
Yeah,
we hear this so many times where someone just rescues it.
Yep,
You know,
and they were great. And one of the cool things is, so this is some of their kids and some of the actors and actresses sitting out on that front porch, which is actually facing 301 right now. But this was been 1950s or thereabouts, a little bit after, and this was their home. This was their entire life. They took a room in the basement that previously would have been some sort of storage or some room. They hand dug it out and built a theater in the basement, which is now our first floor. They built a theater by hand dug.
What?
And so
Yeah.
they opened up the restaurant, and that would have been on the second floor.
wow.
And there's so many, I have so many folks sharing stories about how they had these 2 big dogs, Sam and Agnes, and I just recently learned their names. And Sam and Aggie were massive. One was what was it, a collie, and the other one was a mutt, and they were just big dogs. And they would, like, somebody would open the door and they would bust out and they'd run into the dining room and start eating food off of people's plates, as guests are
Right.
dining. But one of my favorite parts about the tavern, and Chris's one of our other teammates, is in the theater when they went to pour the concrete, the dogs actually got in and ran all through the drying concrete, and so there's
Oh,
paw
I
prints
love it.
Yeah,
all the
there's
way
at least
through.
2-3 paw prints in the
Aw.
theater.
Oh, perfect.
Oh wow,
And
that's
so
cool.
it's
I love that.
when we talk about the paranormal, and that's the reason why I was kind of bringing this up. First off, is these were very prominent folks just in the 1950s. They came in, they revitalized this building, they gave it a new purpose, and they created the very first America non-segregated theater. And I say
Love it.
non-segregated because it was never segregated to be desegregated.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't
Mhm.
matter what color you were. You could sit down next to somebody and watch a show, grab a bite to eat and watch a show.
I love it.
That kind of upset Hanover County at the time. And so the police reached out and informed them that they wouldn't allow this, that there needed to be separate shows or separate seating, and that this shouldn't, this is not legal.
50s, yeah.
In response, Barksdale Theater sent them free tickets for their opening night.
Uh-huh.
And that was it.
Okay.
That was their response. Is, you know what? We're gonna do what we want. Thank you very
See you
much.
there.
But you wanna
Right.
come on and join
Yeah.
us.
Right.
And so it was the first non-segregated theater in America. But we bring that
Love
up
it.
because this room that you will see would have been kind of their dining room, their hangout area. And in the previous iteration, the previous life of the tavern, because there's been so many lives that this building has seen, it was a dining room for for the family, the
family,
tavern
yeah.
owners. So
Okay.
you'll see that the decor in the room is interesting because it's not typical for the tavern as it stands today. The arrangement of this room was actually an escape room. We actually built 2 different escape rooms. I guess, what was it, right after COVID, Tiff?
This was before COVID.
Was it before COVID?
Yeah, this was the one before COVID because it was the Victorian era living room.
That's right, and Kendrick was there.
Yeah.
So this was right before COVID. Okay, so we had built or we had this idea of, we want to get people to come and join us at the tavern. We want to get different ideas and different
Right.
things. And so we converted this room into a temporary escape room. And it was decorated in the form of a Victorian era. So right after the Civil War. And
Actually
you'll
had
see
artifacts from that era in that room
Yes.
as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yep.
Good.
And our executive director, David Deal, he hates Victorian era. It's stuffy. There's too many things on the walls. There's too much
Yeah.
stuff everywhere. So I say that because the tavern, up until this escape room, has never been decorated in Victorian era
No, it's
since
very
the
minimal.
Victorian era.
Right. Like very colonial. Right.
Very
Okay.
minimalist at the tavern, which is fine. We love it.
Yeah, of
And
course.
but I think that the decor and the way that the room was decorated and situated and its furnishings, I think, are a key reason as to why we recorded what we recorded in this clip.
Okay. Okay, we're dying now. We got
Roll the clip, Anthony.
Okay, now roll the clip.
We're dying now.
Like I said, everybody, you got to watch this. Oh, everybody got to observe what's going on. So,
And I can,
Yeah,
I'll,
mind
ex-
you,
I can
the room is
Let
explain a
us
little
know
bit.
what you see in the chat.
Yeah.
We'd like you
Yeah.
to participate.
Yeah.
it was a 5-year-old clip, I think it is.
and the
And
room is
it's on
locked.
YouTube. So,
No one can get into this room at this time.
Oh,
okay,
my
here we go.
God. Okay.
Put it up.
All right, let's go.
And so this is the middle of the day. Audio does not matter here.
Mhm.
There were 2 people in the building, which you may have heard as what you were saying. You might have heard an EVP. I think that was probably David Deal and our
Kendrick.
assistant director,
Okay.
Kendrick, at the time.
Yeah, well, I heard something else, but I
Okay.
heard them and then I heard something else. But
Okay.
I'm like I said, we'll do that some other time.
Yeah.
But if everybody looks at the date, it's 1/16/2020.
Yeah, so it was
Okay.
right before COVID. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's
like 2:20 in the afternoon.
14:22. 14 is
So-
what? That's 2:00?
2:22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 2:30 in the afternoon. So I'm going to play this, and I guess I'm not sure if we could talk over it, but we're going to give it a
I think
shot.
we can probably talk over it. I mean,
Yeah, there's
Well,
no-
it's
the
only
audio is not
already.
the important part.
Okay, if you don't play it, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I think I'm drooling. It's like, let's do
You guys
this.
are going to love this.
Gosh.
Jenny,
Yes.
Tim, you guys
Ready?
are like,
Let's
wow,
do
here
it.
we go.
Gosh, and
And
play.
here we
For the
go.
love of God.
And we're going to our first advertising break or first commercial break, everybody. We've been
Right
we
after
go.
these
Oh my
messages.
God.
Okay.
I'm gonna
It's
leave.
playing.
I'm gonna leave.
Just watch what goes on. Look, did you see that?
So the first thing has already occurred.
Yeah.
Do you want me to
Already started.
explain it a little bit, Anthony?
No, I want to watch it.
Okay.
And then,
Okay.
because I already missed something, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
start
you
got
over.
it after.
Start over. I
You
saw
gotta
it, but
observe.
start over.
You want to start over? Come on. What is this?
All right, start over.
I
But
get
push
overtime
play.
for this.
Yeah, tell me we're
Okay,
playing.
I'm starting over.
Go.
Look by the door.
Okay, I see it.
What'd you see?
It was a light. An
No.
orb?
Keep watching. Keep
We'll
watching.
do it again. I'm going to go
Keep
back
watching.
one more time. It's over by the door on the table.
Okay, that's what I saw. The
The
light.
light.
That's
Yeah.
what
The
you
light.
said.
Candle lit itself.
No, it's a
Okay.
battery operated candle. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
light
So
turns
it
on.
didn't-
Check.
Okay.
This feels like an escape room.
Yeah, it was awesome. I actually have one of the pieces, actually a couple of the pieces of this escape room in my house now.
I'm amazed that the candle turned on by itself. Nobody else is.
I am. It's battery, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is, and so that candle and all of
If
the
it was
candles in
flame,
this
I would have
room,
really been impressed. I'm like,
all of
whoa.
these are these are the
These are the
twist
ones you have. No, you've got to literally pull them out of the candelabra
and then press the button.
and press the
Right.
button on the bottom
Okay.
of the
Mhm.
candle.
So
I'm
these-
not that I'm not
No, what?
impressed.
I have a set of these. I do use these.
Yeah.
Did y'all
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
So
No,
A second one's lit.
Yeah.
the other light turned on.
Yeah. The one,
Mhm.
yeah, to the
Yeah.
left of it.
the one
I-
between the two
I-
winged chairs.
And look behind the
Yep, yep.
divider also. You see the light coming up?
Yep.
The candle behind the divider.
But yeah, that one's now lit.
Oh my God. I see it.
What?
So we recorded this from this angle, and then there's two other cameras on the other side of the room. We set the cameras up because this was utilized as an escape room. We wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that we could keep an eye on folks, and then if they had any questions, they'd wave, and then we'd say, we'd give them a riddle or something like that.
Yeah.
So the intent of these cameras wasn't even to record any preternatural phenomena. It just so happened that this afternoon I'm sitting at work.
Oh yeah,
And
the
I get
other
it.
one just turned on.
Did that front one just go on?
Yeah, that front
Yeah.
one just turned on.
Yeah,
And the one next to
and
it.
then the one next to it.
Isn't that
What?
cool?
And then there's one on the
Bless
far
you.
right as well that just turned on. And so I
Wait.
get a text message. I get a notification on my phone. There's motion in the escape room. I know that I want to say this was a Tuesday or something like that.
It was
we
a
were,
Tuesday, yeah.
We were closed. We were
There's
not
more.
open that day. And this door was locked. We have a process to shut down the escape room, and batteries are expensive. So we make sure that all the candles are turned off. I get a
Mhm.
notification on my phone that says motion has been detected in the room. I open it up and I see that one of the candles is turned on. So I text Kendrick and David and I say, hey, I think somebody left one of the candles on in the escape room. Can you guys go down and turn it off? They take maybe 10 minutes or something like that. In the time that they get downstairs, every single candle in this room is turned on.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The interesting thing that you'll see, however, is they don't just turn on in some random fashion. They move.
No,
Right.
moving around the room.
They
Mhm.
move counterclockwise through
Right.
the room, starting
There's
at
the other one.
the door that you would have entered to walk into the room. So
Yeah.
it's as
Right.
if somebody had walked into the room, lit the closest candle, and then made their way towards the window where there would have been more light so that they could light a candle there. Then the
Yep.
one that was right next to the window. Oh, now
Mhm.
there's the one on the desk, the secretary's desk in the back there. Then they're going to light one that
On the mantle.
is on the mantle,
Oh,
I
there's the
think.
other one. Yeah.
Then there's the wash basin, and there's two right there that'll get lit up. And then there's actually one on a nightstand that's on the far left corner next to
You can
that
see-
bed,
Yeah, bed.
and
Yeah.
that lights up.
That was, I
And
think
so
that was
How
the
many?
last one.
How many
It-
in total? 1, 2,
3, 4,
3,
5,
4,
6,
5,
7,
6.
is 9. I believe it
Nine,
was
yeah.
9 in total,
Okay.
because there's 2 that are off screen, 2 or 3 that are off screen right here.
Yeah. There's like one's more towards the door. Because now this is shooting from the door. Before
Right,
the other one was
right,
shooting
right.
from like the fireplace area coming
Right.
out.
Yeah.
And that divided. There's another one. And this is another camera that's not even night vision. This is just regular
This is regular one.
Oh,
The
I
other 2
like
are on
this.
night vision because I accidentally enabled night vision 24/7
Yeah, but
because I
that's
had
okay.
just set them up.
You can see it better, but I would love to see this. Oh, that's so much better. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
We all like freaked out when Steve was like, "You guys, guess what just happened?" Because I believe it was a Tuesday afternoon. So yeah, Tavern is closed Monday and Tuesday. It's open Wednesday through Sunday.
And
So-
the room is locked. There's nobody in here. You can hear somebody
Yeah.
on the stairs in the main hallway
Yeah,
right outside.
But no, clearly no one's doing it. Yeah.
No.
I mean,
Yeah, there's nobody there to do it.
And you
And
would
how-
think if it was like some sort of vibration or some sort of external thing impacting these that something would turn on. It wouldn't
All
happen
at
to
once.
all of them. right? And
or it would
happened,
happen all at once if it was
Yeah.
the whole
Exactly.
building.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and it's a path. It's a
Anthony, can you
counterclockwise path.
rewind?
around.
Can you
It
rewind
is a
it like
path.
30
Yeah.
seconds?
On this one,
Yep.
Yeah. Like maybe
Exactly.
to 5. Does that say 5?
let me go back to
Yeah.
the beginning. Why? What do you
Yep,
need?
yep,
No,
yep.
no, no,
Perfect.
no, no,
Right there.
that's good.
Right
That's
there.
good. Right there.
Right there. Right there.
Okay. See
'Cause I
back
thought
here
I
it
saw
goes
something
on.
from across the
Yeah,
room.
like a
Yeah.
So if
like
you
a
watch,
shadow.
I feel like there's something that goes across the room and then lights up the one on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Yep.
And then
Right
it lights it
before
up.
it lights. It's like quick.
Yep.
I see it.
Yep.
I didn't
And
see
it's-
it go
and it's
across, but I
white.
saw it by the fireplace. Go back a little bit.
Yep.
Just by the fireplace. It looks like something moves across towards the light.
Yeah, well,
can
it
even-
does look like
and
it's a
then the light
shadow,
lights
but
up.
I was looking at that too, and you don't know if that's Matrix or the
And we've got a
light
bunch of cars
outside.
that go
No,
by.
it's before. Yeah, it's before it lights
Yeah.
up. So it's a little bit before that. It
Yeah,
does
you
look like
see
motion,
something, like a shadow,
but
something.
not yet. Yeah, it's before that. But yeah,
It's before
Because you're
Yeah.
on the
Watch it
highway, I'm
again.
not sure about that.
Well, that's
I saw that
Yeah,
like
go back.
like what Tiff said. We
Go
do
back
have
to
a
the
lot of
5-minute
traffic
again.
that comes past the tavern.
okay, but we're
Yeah,
still
that,
looking at
it's
we're
that
terrible.
road is
We won't
built
let
like
it go.
busy 24/7. Like even at 2 o'clock in the morning, cars are flying up 301. Cars and
But
like
it's daytime.
trucks.
Right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but you also get reflections off the windshield and everything else on the car.
It doesn't look like a reflection.
that-
It looks like movement.
Because you can hear the cars driving
Yeah.
by also.
Yeah.
When the one goes on the mantle, you'll see a shadow. Something going by. At first,
Like
I
a
thought it
car-
was might
like
have
a
been
car?
person on the stairs, but when I watched, there's a door there. It's closed.
Yeah, the door's definitely closed and locked.
This is mind blowing. I mean, just for
Why are they
everyone, can you?
flickering?
Did you see
There's-
that light anomaly? That was a car driving by.
Car. That's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see
I
how
see.
it went by
Yeah.
just now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
might
looked
be a
like a
car.
car. But that looked like a
that
car
was
to me.
most likely a vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not really a
that's not what
We've
I
shadow.
got-
saw before.
Me
So
either.
the-
It's
When I
not
saw
really
it
a
before, it
shadow.
goes across the
The
fireplace.
fireplace. It looks
I don't
like
see it from the wall.
pixelation, not really a shadow.
Yeah.
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 Because like
Okay.
the
That's
big
what I think
thing
before.
that which is
Right
why
there,
the
you see how that was just now?
Yeah, that's a big shadow. Yeah, that's a
Yep.
car. You think? Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
almost
No, but we're
certain.
talking lower. The other one, other one's low. It's just in front of the fireplace.
Yeah, it was lower.
Yeah, that goes
Yeah.
that way. Then the one that goes back that way.
So it definitely wasn't a car because it wasn't high like that.
See?
It was just in, not
I
that. It
think
was
it's
just in front of the
reflections.
fireplace. Anyway, take a look. But can you just explain just for everyone again what it takes to turn that on again? How do you actually
Yeah,
turn those on?
Please do.
Yeah, I mean you literally have to pull those you have to pull those out of the base, right? So we bought these little, these candle. God, I wish I had one.
Oh,
Yeah,
me
I would
too.
like to see what that looks like.
Let me see.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about because I use them
Yeah.
also. And
It's kinda
on
like
the
the
bottom
push
of the
button.
base, you
Yeah.
take out the candle. You have to take it. It's like a whole candle you take out, and then
So
on the
you-
bottom you like.
Yeah,
flick
it's like
it on.
hollowed out. Yeah, that's exactly what those candles are. is
It's
what you're
hollowed
looking at.
But
I
you have to
actually-
put your finger in and click. It's not like the
Yeah.
start. The
Yeah.
switch is against
Okay.
anything. So the vibration it turns
Mhm.
on. It's not like that. It's
Nope.
up higher that you have to push up.
Yeah, it's a
So I
definitely like a
really
push
liked-
button in.
I really liked the ones that we had for this escape room. We actually ended up buying more and reutilizing all of these
Okay.
candles in our cage bar and tap room renovation,
Mhm.
which Anthony, I sent you those pictures too. But I ended up liking them so much that I bought a couple for our own home.
They're
and
very
so
pretty.
They are. It's really cool. So this is the candle.
Oh, good.
And at the bottom is just this little black button, and you have to press
Mhm.
that
Oh my God.
to
Yeah.
turn the light on. So
So how do you even? I mean,
They
Yeah, I
even took
got
the
those-
candles out, tried shaking them, trying to like figure out like you
Yeah.
would walk across the front porch,
Yeah.
because the building's so old, you hear like it echoing. No matter who's in the building, where they're at, you're gonna hear it echoing. So they went out there, even like walked and tried to see like, okay, was it like 18-wheeler going by that made it?
Right.
Like, tried to dismiss it as much as they could, and we still have no explanation
that's
of how.
incredible.
and we
Yeah.
haven't had it happen since either. Like
that
this
was
was
my next question.
the
Okay.
escape room had been set up for quite some time. leading up to this. So this wasn't like we had just finished setting up and now the lights, everything's going crazy.
Yeah.
The escape room has been set up for a number of months at that point. And
Yeah,
I don't know
never
if it was just
happened.
like the perfect day or just all the right elements are in place in the environment and, bing, bang, boom, we've got some sort of activity. But it hadn't
Incredible.
happened. It hadn't happened prior to that, and we didn't have it happen after that.
I don't
And I
know.
know that because after that occurred, we were pretty much like always reviewing and checking logs and seeing like, oh, did it detect, did it detect something? Oh, we got to go and check now.
Oh, I would have checked every day.
We
Yeah,
did
of course.
we had some props go off in the middle of the night. We actually had because it was a 2-room escape room. There's actually a small room off the back of that room. And we had this is going to require a little bit of a story here, but we had set the escape room up in a Victorian-esque style to represent and share the tale of what is referred to as the Richmond Ghoul. And the Richmond Ghoul was this individual, and I can't remember his name, but he worked for MCV Hospital, which is now VCU. During the Civil War, medical students had lots of opportunities to study and practice, surgeries. And
Oh, yeah.
lots of bodies. After the Civil War, guess what? Not as many people were dying. There weren't as many bodies, and
Uh-oh.
they didn't have access to allow these, these medical students to perform whatever they needed to do to learn to become medical doctors. And so this is where the tale of the Richmond Ghoul comes into play. It was this individual. He worked in the basement of MCV Hospital, and his role was to ensure that there were bodies for the students so that they could study and learn. And
Old Charles.
Charles.
Yeah, hold on. I think that's the name. I should actually know it. It's in one of my scripts for Haunts of Richmond. But yeah.
So our Richmond Ghoul had to find out a way that he could get bodies to still continue to make their way in to the hospital. And so he did what he thought would be the easiest. He would wait until
Old Chris. Sorry, I was wrong. Old Chris.
He would wait until he'd see or hear about somebody passing away in the community, predominantly in the African American community. And when they were buried, he'd go and he'd dig them up, and he'd take the body, put it in a wheelbarrow, and wheelbarrow the body all the way back to the hospital.
There were even catacombs that he would use to get.
Oh my gosh! And get paid.
And so his job was to store the bodies, and then if they needed a specific piece or part, hey, listen, we're going to be learning about the brain today. We're going to be learning about an arm, and we don't want there to be any skin on it. He would have to do whatever to prepare that body. So he had a number of pickled bodies and bodies in vats and this and that. And the weird thing about this, and I see Mary Beth going, ew, not okay. The weird thing about this is, had they not had people doing this, there wouldn't be the medical advancements that we have today.
Exactly. Right, and he wasn't killing people because that didn't happen. In Europe,
he wasn't
they did have people who were killed for that.
That's not H.H. Holmes, different person.
Right.
He was not killing anybody, but yeah, he was stalking funerals. And I said that it was predominantly African American because the white folks would have security patrolling their graveyards and cemeteries. Right. The African American cemeteries didn't have anybody, so he could go in there very easily
and people
snatch
that
a body,
be missed per se,
right? Unfortunately,
and bring them back to the hospital. And so he was referred to as the Richmond Ghoul, and there were all of these myths and legends that actually ruminated through the local community, and parents would use that as a way to get their kids to come back before it got dark. Was if you're not in this house before dark, the Richmond Ghoul will get you.
I love it.
And so he is actually, and he is actually one of very few non-doctors that actually appears in those years during MCV's graduating classes. He's actually in those pictures because
In a white
he,
coat.
yeah, he played
Oh,
such a
gosh.
pivotal role in their research and study. Is it, today will we do that? No. But at that time, they didn't have, yes, I'd like to donate my body to medical research. They didn't have any of
Right.
that sort of stuff. So when
Mhm.
the war ended, there were no bodies to do any work on, no studies.
Right.
So they had to find a way to
Mhm.
continue to bring bodies in, which is why he did that. He actually was caught 3 times, and he was exonerated all 3 times. They never
Wow.
put him in jail for this because they understood that it was one of those. Yes, it's horrible, but it's a
Like necessary
necessary
evil.
evil. Yes,
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah. He's like an
Um,
anti-hero. Yeah.
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 What did he look like? Did he have? Was he overweight with a long beard?
No.
No. Okay.
But
I
um,
have. I have.
I have a
trouble
picture of
drawing
him
too.
somewhere. I'd have to find
and
Oh,
he's
it.
holding.
that's a-
We have a picture of him holding a skull, actually, which is kind of.
Oh,
Nice.
lovely.
Nice.
But I share that
want to go back
story.
to the
Okay.
lights.
Well, okay. So I'm sharing that story because what we were talking, we utilized the Richmond Ghoul to create this story of the escape room, and the Richmond Ghoul has
Oh.
left Richmond and he's made his way to Hanover County, and we need to determine, is this our Richmond Ghoul?
Somebody,
And
a
so
rich woman goes missing. And,
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
so
Okay.
we utilize this as our backdrop to
Cool.
share another
Gotcha.
local historical thing, which is why it's decorated in Victorian era.
Uh,
And then the room, the back room, and this is what I was saying, like, we don't have those candles turning on anymore, but we actually had a coffin, or like this giant box, that we had this prop, a Halloween prop, that was of this skeleton, and it would lay back, and if you set it off, it was on motion sensor, right? So if it detected motion, it would
So it
sit up
Sit
and
up.
and make some screaming noise or something, just to scare people as they made their way into this room, because that was like
Right.
the second part. You had to
Mhm.
solve a bunch of riddles and puzzles in this first room where the candles were, and
Yeah,
then
I
you find
love
a key
escape
to get into this
Oh, me
back
too.
room. We had that prop sit up on its own a number of times at
With-
night when nobody was
With
there.
no one there.
Oh wow.
Yes, so
That's
it would
awesome.
detect movement, and then it would like sit up in the middle of the night. So I had some of that. To me, that's a little bit harder to I guess prove or disprove, because it is
Yeah.
a motion sensor,
Mhm.
and those things, if light hits a motion sensor, it'll go off. But
They
the fact
do.
that this is like literally, I've got to go and press this button.
That's
That to me
yeah,
is where
I'd
there's
be
a little bit
so
more validity
curious.
to it.
Have you looked into the date, the meaning of that date
right.
as
Um,
significance in
I don't-
history?
I don't think we have.
We were thinking
Because
it
that
could
would
have
be the
been.
only thing that I could think of, because I think you're right. I think it's like a cross section of time, especially if it's not something that happens routinely. It's
Yeah.
got to be something of
Good
that.
question.
Mhm.
That would be, I'd wonder. It was the 16th, right? January 16th.
Yes.
Yeah. And a lot of the
Yeah.
furniture in that room was on loan. So it didn't belong to anybody. Like David has a bunch of antiques. He even has his own like antique store. So this was
Interesting.
stuff that was on loan from a friend of his. So it's actual period. Because we had wondered, we even went and investigated that room one night to see if maybe something was attached to any of those, period items.
Yeah,
And
good
I actually
question.
have some of those period furniture pieces at home now too.
Very nice.
He's just
Very
begging
nice
for his house to be
furniture.
Just keep the
No, but-
candles away from it.
No, but you're right. I mean, it's a certain set of circumstances, that furniture, that date, and it never
Yeah.
repeated itself. But
Yeah.
that's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Really.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Totally
Anthony. Thank you,
unexplainable.
Anthony,
See?
for telling. Yeah, thank you for telling us
Hyping
about
it
it all
up.
day and not showing us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's-
Kim, you got some
Kim,
readings.
you have readings. Yes.
What, we're getting close to the end
Yeah.
here, so we got to
Let's
get
do
some readings. in.
readings.
You want to do
Readings.
your readings, Kim?
Sure.
You want to put them
I'm
on?
still like,
Yeah.
you see my mind going at like a million
I know,
miles
me
per
too.
hour. I'm
Yeah, I
like,
know. This is awesome.
That just means you need to come down to the tavern. You need
Yes.
to
Yeah, you should.
But
Okay.
maybe next year we'll go down during the
For
when
the
you have
Paragon.
I'm like,
Paragon.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so methodical. Like the spirit that's doing it is so methodical. It's so thought out. It's like it's
Exactly the way it
I
would be.
can't.
exactly. You can picture it. Someone going around doing it.
Absolutely,
Yeah, that's
Like,
Wow.
absolutely.
or a servant going in and lighting the
Yeah,
candles
lighting
in
the
morning
candles.
for the
Yeah,
Yeah.
the wife, the lady of the house before they
I
get
got
up,
nothing.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I have 2 videos. I'll do one first of I think it's that room. I think it's that room that you sent me. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, pretty cool.
But I'll go for it. Okay, we are back with another location this week. I was given 2 photos of a location for our guest this week. I'm actually, interestingly, going to start with the indoor photo that I was given. So this looks like a parlor area. As I feel into this area, this living area, it's funny. I see like a group of men and they're here like playing cards around a table, or they're like kind of gambling around a table. I also see there's this one gentleman in particular who, judging from the other photo, I don't know why this is coming up, but it feels like he's almost like cowboyish, where I feel like he wears big boots and spurs, and I almost feel like this location, which goes back, I want to say, into the mid 1700s, was a like livery or a like a stagecoach stopover or something like that on a path west or east. I guess it doesn't really matter. You could go east or west on this road. This guy, he's middle-aged, and I want to say something rogue about him. It's interesting. I'm getting the years of like 1750 to 1800, which is kind of before the age of the cowboys, but that's the age I'm seeing. I also want to say people would hear footsteps, like booted footsteps, and maybe even spurs with the footsteps. I also want to say a T name with him. I'm also getting the sense that there is a connection to manufacturing with the family. Manufacturing to the sense of like, this might be why I'm getting the Midwest gun manufacturing, but there's some kind of strange connection to guns or gunware with this household. Also in this room, I would imagine that you could see apparitions of people sitting in chairs. I also would imagine that chairs move on their own. There's quite this residual energy within this space of wheeling and dealing in games, but I can imagine seeing somebody, a shadow or a full apparition in a chair. It does feel like a man, or chairs moving. Along with this, I'm also seeing quite a bit of residual activity. So there's a lot of noises, bangs, bumps, whispers, like all kinds of noises. It's almost like this house like doesn't rest. There's quite a bit of residual energy here.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, do you guys
Do you want
do you
to?
guys know who that
Response to
man
that?
could be?
Do you want to start, or do you want me to start, Tiff?
I mean, the boot, we've definitely heard like the heavy boots, what sounds like furniture being moved around, like just in that area. We've definitely, I mean, this isn't the first time that something has happened in this room where the door's been locked. When we first started coming to the tavern, they had a Civil War artifact. What's the word I'm looking for? Exhibit, thank you, set up. And while we were investigating, we heard loud things crashing. And of course, we're like, oh crap, we're going to go bankrupt because we're going to have to pay for all of this stuff.
Yeah, that
And
was
of
like one of our
course-
very first investigations there. And
Yeah.
I
Oh,
remember,
no.
I remember standing there thinking like, there goes my life savings.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was nothing out of place. Like Steve calls David the next day and he goes, we promised we didn't do anything. And David goes and checks, and there's nothing out of place.
They didn't trust
Wow.
us to go into that room at that time because like this
Yeah.
was our first time. So it was a completely locked room, glass cases everywhere with all
Yeah.
these Civil War artifacts and accoutrements, and we just hear glass just shattering.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
gosh. Nothing
oh
too
God.
valuable. Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
So of course, like we're all ghost white because of all of this, and we're like, we're never going to be allowed back in this place
Yeah,
ever
we're
again.
done. This is it. We're out.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
We're done for.
Seriously.
But
That's
no,
terrifying.
he goes back in, and everything is right where he left it.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, footsteps are the biggest thing in the furniture, and like we've literally heard audible talking and things like that. I would say the T name could maybe be Tillman's, because the Tillmans owned the tavern and like before the Civil War, because the Chisholms took over the tavern right before the Civil War started. So the Tillman family was before. And yeah,
Oh, great.
I can't remember the timeline of that, but
Well,
the
the
T
other
name could be
thing-
that.
the other thing that I was going to say about the T name, which also played into the gambling and the gaming and all of that sort of stuff, is that would have been one of the main rooms that if you were part of the Barksdale Theater,
Yeah.
troupe, and that's not just those 6 folks. The Pete and Nancy Kilgore and
Macaulay.
Macaulay, they had 3 other folks that ended, or 3 or 4 other folks that ended up going off and leaving and departing, and so it was just the 3 of them and a number of actors and actresses that would have temporarily lived and stayed at the tavern. And they put on plays of every single thing you can think of.
Okay.
They put on the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, Sweeney Todd at
Sweeney
one
Todd,
point.
yeah.
So they have put on all sorts of plays. So it's very, very likely that somebody, they would have put on some sort of Western play
Yeah.
at some point. Somebody would have
Sure.
wore, that. And like Tiffany said, one of the other experiences, because when we go and investigate the tavern, we have access typically to the tavern, the jail, the courthouse, and the clerk of courts, or even the library, which is right next door. That's also very active. And we'll often leave audio recorders. If let's say we leave the tavern and we go somewhere else, we lock up the doors so that nobody can get in. And we'll leave audio recorders. And
That's my favorite. That's my favorite thing to do, Steve.
yeah, and we've recorded the sound of footsteps, like Tiff said, and then on one occasion the sound of what sounded like metal or a chain or something being dragged behind somebody
Wow.
as they walked through the room. And
Wow.
there was nobody there. I mean, nobody could have even have gotten in. So
Oh boy.
we've definitely had a lot. I mean, you got Stagecoach Road. And the tavern was a post office for a brief period of time.
Yeah.
So that's
I
where
mean-
the delivery came in.
Yeah.
I mean, she had no idea where this was in the entire country or what this was about. So that's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. Just
Yep.
to have
Yeah.
Stagecoach, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Jim, you want to
Yeah.
play the other ones? You want to play
Sure.
another one?
Play another one.
Yeah.
Which room is this?
I'm seeing
Same room.
maids. I'm
Just that it's
seeing
like another
servants,
minute,
but
but
I'm seeing
just a
a
shorter.
whole horde of children who have lived in this house. I even want to say at one point in time there could have been like 10 or 12 children who were living in this house. Constant activity in this home. There is a boy who I am seeing a sense here, a younger boy around the age of 5 that I'm seeing. Getting an R name like Roger, and he's telling me about his illness that he passed from. So he's showing me like these swellings on his neck. So I think I could imagine this would be like mumps. I guess it could also be like strep throat or something, but I'm seeing like these bumps around his neck. He's a quiet boy, but I do feel like he's very engaged with people who visit this place. They might feel small tugs on their pants. They might also feel like a small hand on their legs, stuff like that. That would be him. He's very engaging. I also want to talk about, I feel like there might be a paranormal cat. And we've had these at a few other locations, but I've actually not seen one myself when I'm looking at an image. This would show up as almost like a small slithering thing on the ground. I think it feels like a cat, maybe brushing up against the pants, things like that.
All right,
For a
Tiff.
large dog.
I know,
We do
Tiffany. I
have
know
an
you want to start.
EVP of a cat in the theater. Rhonda caught it. We have an EVP of a cat meowing, which is hilarious.
Oh my God.
That's
really?
awesome.
That's so cool.
So
Yes.
I was like, I haven't seen one yet, but we've heard of them at other places.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony, there is a picture of a room that has an arch in it. Can you pull that one up if you don't mind?
And then the children, I would say that's definitely from like the Kilgore area where there was like 3 families living in there with their children.
Oh yeah, they would have
Yeah,
they had
with,
kids
like-
all the time through there.
That
Yeah.
one?
It was like crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
So you had mentioned in there along with the
Funny.
child, right, that there was somebody that died and you started feeling your throat, right, your neck.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this, but during the Civil War, you obviously had death through battle, but you also had a huge outbreak of typhoid, diphtheria, and yellow fever, and that was all throughout the colonies, and it was so prevalent that even here in Hanover County, one of the rooms in the tavern was quarantined so that they could take care of folks with diphtheria, typhoid fever, yellow fever, and anything like that.
Oh,
It would have
wow.
had to have been a big room that they could have fit multiple beds in and allowed the nurses to move around. And what you're looking at here is what we refer to as the arch room. It is one of two really neat architectural pieces of the tavern, and that is the giant arch that's in the middle of the room. That wall that's on the back that seems to go into another room there, that is actually a newer addition. That wall wouldn't have been there. It would have been one big room. And this is the original, excuse me, this is the quote unquote new tavern. So this portion of the building dates back to the 1820s. And so this would have been one massive room. You would have come in here to stay at the tavern. That little single door right there on the left-hand side, you would have walked through there, and that's where the cage bar and tap room is. But this room is the largest room in the historical portion of the building. And there was only one large room that was quarantined during these outbreaks. Just one. And so it's hard to, while I can't say with certainty that it's this room, there are no other rooms that would have fit that scale and that amount of people.
Yeah,
We know that the tavern was quarantined. We know that people passed away in the tavern because of these outbreaks. And diphtheria is the most interesting one. Do you guys know what diphtheria is?
Thankfully, no.
From
Okay.
mosquitoes, I feel
You
like.
all did get vaccinated.
We did.
Yeah,
Diphtheria.
Isn't that something to do with the stomach and everything?
It is
No,
an
it's-
illness that will pretty much attack the muscles in your throat
wow.
and your bronchial tubes.
Oh.
And what it'll do is it will start squeezing these. All
like
right.
you're choking.
So yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what happens. You, at this point in time, because they didn't have anything to treat this, all of this would start choking you, or all of this would start squeezing up, and you wouldn't be able to breathe. You would literally choke to death.
That's terrible.
And we know that this happened at the tavern because of somebody that Tiffany portrays during our historical tours, which is Margaret White. And Margaret White was, well, Tiff, you play Margaret White. You love
So-
Margaret White. Go ahead.
I love Anne more, but Margaret
You do
White,
love Anne, but you like.
I do love Anne more. Margaret White, yeah, I got to help with the 4th grade field trips, but Margaret White, her and her
Yeah.
husband came to the tavern in 1863 to get away from the war, to be safe there. So when they lived there, 1862. So when they lived there, January 1st, 1863, she started a diary. So the whole time that she lived at the tavern, she wrote about all of her experiences, how we had
Perfect.
inflation,
Nice,
things like
nice.
that. And when the Tavern Foundation took over in 1991, when they started doing restorations, they found her original diary and we were able to have it published. But she does write about the deaths of 2 children, the deaths of the Chisholm's daughter, Conway, and about a lady that died from diphtheria. And her last words were, "I am choking to death."
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
So, but because of Margaret White's diary, us being able to find it, that's how we found out so much history about the tavern during the Civil War. Yeah, there's the published
Yeah.
copy that David
Oh,
got
perfect.
published.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have this entire diary of everything that she talks about when
Mhm.
she stays there, and
That's so lucky. I
one
mean,
of the
Yeah,
She-
she started it January 1st, 1863,
she-
oh
and
my
wrote it in
gosh.
almost every day.
and
Wow.
she recounts about the price of um, goods and things that eh, basically inflated about 1,000% because of the war and the devalue of the Confederate dollar. She writes about watching the railroad stop the depot that's right there, burning
Burned
3 or
down.
4 times. And she writes about the outbreak of diphtheria,
Diphtheria.
typhoid,
We
and yellow
had-
fever.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
8 to 9 cases at once at the tavern.
Wow.
And
And
Yeah.
I
in
imagine
here,
with. Go ahead.
there is one line, and I can never remember which page it's on, but she writes the last words of a young woman
I
that
am choking to death. I already said it.
Oh, okay, there you go. I am choking
Yeah.
to death.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I am
Yeah,
choking
I
to death,
mean,
yeah.
any illness, you're going to have swollen lymph nodes too, like,
Mhm.
something like that, like,
Yeah.
maybe not with a cold, but,
Yeah.
a severe illness like that, like your lymph nodes are going to be swollen
Yeah.
as well. And they might even show. How old was she when she died?
Ooh, I'll have to look and see how old Margaret was when she died. She was at least in her 70s, I believe. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, her and her husband both, because he didn't participate in fighting of the
Mm-mm.
war because they were both older.
And
Their
he had
children did.
children did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 children, Charles and Willie. Willie was a teenager and he died at the Second Battle of Bull Run. And her daughter her daughter name was Mary, and she lived in, well, she didn't live, but she was in Culpeper, Virginia as a nurse, and she died from, oh my God, now I'm forgetting.
She gets sick though from
She got sick
from being a
from,
nurse. And then
yeah,
ended up
from being a
passing away.
nurse.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's too bad.
yeah.
That's very sad.
It is
I
sad.
mean, the diary is pretty extensive. That's why I asked,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
really cool,
yeah.
and we're very lucky because that is, I
Yeah.
mean, as far as I can tell, it is the only way that we have such a great insight into the tavern at this period of time.
yeah, if
Mhm.
only we had that everywhere.
And that's
know.
what we found out
Yeah.
about the young girl being hung, because Margaret wrote about the young girl being hung.
Wow.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
Um,
such a great example because, when we go back to the history books, right, we only have what's written about, what's put in the newspapers, what people
Absolutely.
recount.
And we have the
There
white
is-
version, right? Like we don't
Yeah.
have
You're
like,
right. You're right.
let's be honest.
And
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
so important to find these other pieces that actually are telling the day-to-day
Sure.
stuff, because we don't have that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So-
And the Chisholms, they were Union sympathists. They're the ones that owned the tavern. So, they actually, Margaret writes in her diary about how they actually hid a Union soldier that was wounded from the
Wow.
Confederacy. And,
Wow.
once the Union came back through, they were able, once he was healed, were able to give him back to the Union so he could, safely
Yeah,
get out
stayed
of there.
there for about 6 to 7 weeks.
Yeah.
That's,
If you,
that's
what was it? We say it was 6 weeks, or the paper says it's 6 weeks,
6
but
weeks. Yeah.
he's told us that it was 7 weeks because we've actually interacted. We believe
have.
we've interacted with him.
I think the same with
interesting.
Tom.
I think so.
He's given
we
us the
got
name
10.
Tom.
We got 10 minutes left.
Oh, geez.
Oh, wow.
We got like
Okay.
8 minutes.
Kim has one more thing.
Okay.
You let
That
Kim
went
put her
fast.
thing.
Yes.
I know we could talk all night. I love
I
it.
know,
really
and it
could.
went so
Are there
fast.
any more pictures or evidence that you guys have or want to show?
I mean, the only thing I sent was that video because to me that was like the
Oh,
paramount
yeah.
thing. So
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
we've got a bunch of EVPs, but I think the video to me is one of the most exciting
Yeah.
things
It
that
is
I've ever
incredible.
recorded.
Was
Kim,
worth the
play
wait.
your last one. I got a
Okay.
couple of pictures I want to show that I drew of what I
Okay.
seen there. So, and we.
Well, why don't you do your pictures? Because
Yeah,
my
let's
last
see your
video,
pictures.
it's just outside, and I talk more about horses everywhere. And
Hey,
Well-
but that's cool too because
Yeah.
I know.
during circuit court during that time wasn't just like court today. Like you're like, oh, you gotta go and attend court, and you're like, oh god. Court back then, circuit court once a month. This was the only time that you would be able to see your family because everybody would go. They'd pitch tents and camp, right around there for that those couple of days. That's where all of your selling would be going on. People would be bartering, people would be trading, people would be gambling. And one of the most interesting
Wow.
things is 301, the Coach House Road. They would consistently stop proceedings so that folks, judges, jury, anybody could go and bet on the horse races that were occurring right on the Stagecoach Road. They would have
Oh,
horse
that's
races
right
right
up your
there.
alley, Kim.
So
That's cool.
they'd race down, and so you go outside, you'd place your bets, win or lose, then you go back in and probably get sentenced to jail. But maybe
I
you got to
love
win a couple bucks.
So your
Yeah,
horses
play
is
play
spot
your
on.
clip. Play your clip. You're talking about horses? No?
no, do your pictures. It's not enough time.
Do
Go ahead.
let's
Do
see your picture. I want to see
I just
wanna see
the
your
man
picture.
with the beard.
Yeah. When I was there,
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you've
when
been
we're
here.
doing it, when what's her name came out, the two psychics,
Patty
Robin,
Negri
Patty.
and Rob
Patty Negri, yeah.
Thompson.
and they came out and they started doing it. I was sitting in the audience because Ron went on afterwards, and I seen a
Ron and
man.
Lourdes went on afterwards.
Yeah,
Right.
Ron and Lourdes went on,
Running. Yeah.
and Lourdes.
Running. Lourdes.
Uh, and
Oh my God.
I seen behind the stage by Ron this man waving to me, and he was like right behind the stage. So this is what I seen. He was
This
a
is
man.
in the stage in the basement.
The theater, right?
Yes,
The theater.
Theater in the basement.
Well, the theater's on the first floor.
Oh,
It's the first floor now.
it would have
that
been
they dug
considered
out.
the basement back then. Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
know
gotcha.
if
That
you've
has,
seen
like-
anybody, anything like that there, but
I don't know. To me, that has very Pete Kilgore vibes. Like,
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. Yeah.
Look at that 50s
Pete-
yeah, he was
sweater.
small. He was a short man.
yeah, Pete was kind of like he loved to have fun and play around with folks. I've never met Pete. I met his sons. So the Kilgore family is still around here. I've met his sons, and I've met others that act in actors and actresses that actually worked with Pete.
Really?
And he was
Mhm.
he'd always mess around with folks, and
Mhm.
he was kind of the life of the party from my understanding. So
Oh, cool.
Is that a cowboy
having
hat?
It's more like a fedora, like a
Yeah, like one of those hats that go on and they just put on. And I mean, and he had like one of he
Like one
reminded
of
me of
those
like the
sweaters.
1950s. That's why he reminded me of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which, yeah,
Gotcha.
That guy.
that's pretty awesome.
that's pretty
Uh,
cool.
Crazy.
The next one I have is when
And he
Ron
was
and
like,
I.
"Hey Anthony, how you doing?"
Hey, whoa, hey! You
Yeah.
got some
Because
cannoli.
they were from New York.
The next one I have is
That could
from
be it.
when I was upstairs doing the we were running
static-
Ron's method. I'm going to say it wrong. I'm not going
Oh,
to
you
say it.
did it. No, you did it.
Staticom.
That was it.
The method.
Staticom.
Yeah.
Method.
So we were in the room and there's nobody coming
said
in.
it.
All of a sudden I see a somebody peek in. It was like a little girl with long black hair. And she just
Oh.
peeked in. And I'm like, hello? And I was like looking and she just, I went to the door. There was nobody there. So she just like looked in, see what we're doing, and then took off.
So we do have a number of female, like young girl. Well, what we believe to be, how about that, young girl spirits or entities there.
Mm.
I know, and this is where it's weird because like we've been investigating for God knows how many years, and we have some ideas as to who we interact with. We know that we have a story about the very first experience that we were called in for around the Lady in Black, and we have an idea about who that is. We know the soldier that was in there, and we know we have a name for that, right? What we don't know is there seems to be a young girl that stays in the theater, and she likes to play around with people there.
Mm-hmm.
We also encounter a young girl on the top floor. And we're not sure if it's the same young girl, if it's two different young girls. We also know that there is a young girl that's in our executive director David's office. And again, we're not sure if it's the same girl all the way through. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
I know that whomever is in David's office does not like to be messed with, no equipment. I actually had I believe her follow me home one evening because I was like, I'm gonna set up a camera in your office, Dave, because he kept having things happen. But every time we'd go in there and investigate, it'd be dead quiet. We wouldn't get anything. No EVPs, no nothing.
Mhm.
And so I'm
Of
like, David,
course.
I'm gonna set a camera up in your office. And he's like, I don't know if she, I don't know if whoever's here likes that because they don't want to interact with us.
Mm-hmm.
I come home that evening. I'm sitting here at my desk, at this desk, and just messing around on my computer. God knows what I was doing. And all of a sudden, I feel this like air brush through the room, and I hear clear as day this younger girl right in my ear say, "No, do not do that," and then gone. And the only thing that I could align it up to is someone's like, you know what? Do not mess with me. And so we have
Mhm.
never set up a camera. We don't investigate Dave's office.
Wow.
We
Oh,
give her
wow.
space. Never had that happen again. But it's weird because we don't know if that young girl that's in the basement is the same as the one that's upstairs. If there's two, if there's
Right.
three, if we got
Mhm.
500, no idea.
Yeah.
And there's no way of knowing, really.
There's no way. And that's
mean,
the
No.
thing about the building is like people are like, well, who came through here? Everybody did.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's,
It was
I mean,
just
You mean
families
the
stay there.
first 10 million people or the second 10 million
Yeah.
people?
Which set are we referring to here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
That makes
even
it challenging for sure.
yeah, and even to today, we have a full restaurant and bar, and we've got a theater that seats 155 people. We've got rental facilities. We've got a coach house in the back, which Anthony saw, that we use for weddings and business functions and all that sort of stuff. We've got a living history museum upstairs. Those are some of our reenactors that'll come
Nice.
and portray Civil War and
Mhm.
Rev War soldiers. And we have people in and out constantly, day after day after day after day. So it's like, well, who's been here? Everybody.
Right. And who was there before?
Everyone.
Who was there before? Even the
Exactly.
tavern was there.
That
You know?
place in
there's
the
a-
back, you said, I seen something back there too.
Yeah.
Well, and then on top of it,
Oh, there's
there's
the beard
also-
guy.
oh,
So where was
nice.
this one?
This was in that back room where we had the all the vendors where I was with Ron.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, the Washington room.
the Washington room. The interesting thing about this, Tiff, do you want to share that about David's experience? Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah. So
man?
yeah, so this time of year we actually have what's called the fourth grade field trips coming through the tavern where they're learning about their Virginia history. So fourth graders from pretty much all over Virginia, if they so much feel like it, they'll come, they'll spend a few hours at the tavern. They'll meet Mr. Chisholm, the owner of the tavern, Margaret White, Martha Ann Fields, her son, including over across the courthouse, they'll meet George Washington and Patrick Henry. Well, years ago, David was standing in that arch room practicing his lines for Mr. Chisholm, and that feeling you get where somebody is like standing right behind you. He turns around and he sees this man that's in like a tweed, like the brown tweed, like suit, and standing right there, and he like literally just dissipates right in front of him.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
And he's got those are boots, Anthony. He's got on.
Yeah, the boots,
And
and it's like
look at that beard.
yeah,
Yeah.
to me it looked like a uniform or some sort of thing. And he was
That's
holding a
big
fist.
dude.
I could only see part of him. The other part of him was sitting behind the pole. That's going in the back where the bathroom is.
That would go back. Actually, that would go if you're looking back into that little corner. There's the arch room. If you're in the arch room, you've got the Washington room, and then there's a little set of double doors, which is actually the front doors of the tavern. And there's a small little closet room that's right in there.
The area
look at
behind
that.
us,
That's
right
cute.
here.
Oh,
that's
right
the
here.
coach house.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that's the coach house.
That's
Yeah.
the
So
coach house.
so that's interesting because that changes things up a little bit. This right here is the building that I was referring to, that wedding venues and all that. This building is, we believe, directly on top of the original Stagecoach Road. Because the original Stagecoach Road was on the other side of the tavern from where it is
Right. They
today.
moved it.
And so we did some excavating before we built there. We tried to bring in some folks to actually do some detecting and everything. They found some bits and pieces of historical artifacts that we have on display at the tavern now, but by far and large, we couldn't find anything. And so we decided it would be safe to build the coach house there. But we do believe that the original road, based off of some drawings, like, map drawings of the area of that time, that Stagecoach Road ran right where that coach house, where that is. And there would have been a stable and barn somewhere around there. There would have also been a blacksmith shop. And you can actually, if you pull up that the one drawing that I sent to you, and I said that this was an insurance sketch of the building and property, you can see where the tavern is, and you can see where that original Stagecoach Road ran, Northern Stage Road, and you can see that right across the street. Oh, well, there's a butcher shop. I believe is what that
Huh.
says. It's so hard for me to read this. Like,
Yeah.
I see.
Um,
It says butcher.
and you can say
Yeah.
distance of about 20 feet. There's a private home right here. And if you look
Mhm.
across, oh, there's a wooden barn that would have been a stables. Well, there's a stables right there. There's a wooden barn. So there were buildings and outbuildings all throughout this area.
Yeah.
Um, and it was
Yeah.
also utilized as a plantation. There was a plantation home known as the Nutshell that actually sat right on the far edge of the property. Unfortunately, in 2016, Hanover County decided what better thing to do with a historical pre-Civil War building than to tear it down. So
Oh,
we don't have that building
heartbreaking.
anymore. I gotta kill me. But this whole area was plantation ground. So people would have been all throughout this area, not even just the tavern, but the entirety of this place. Folks have been
Yeah.
running all around. So
Private homes and everything there, butcher shops.
yep. And
So
then
it's like a shopping area.
also to top things off even more, the courthouse and grounds were utilized as a Civil War field hospital for a period of time as well. And troops would
Oh.
have encamped there
Oh my
for a little
God.
bit. So not only do you have all the history of the, like kind of what you had mentioned, Jenny, where it's like what happened out, other than just this building. Well, yeah, there were people everywhere. I mean, they had the Battle of Hanover Courthouse, which was just right down the road, and they
Right.
would have brought folks right up here to treat them. So we
Wow.
know that there were tons and tons and tons of folks that would have marched through there, both Union and Confederate. Rev War. Gosh, I can't remember who it was, but was it Jeb Stewart? I can't remember the name. There
Jeb
was a
Stewart was commissioned Major General on the
Right.
lawn.
right there on the lawn.
Yeah.
So
Ah.
we have tons and tons of people that have walked all through that property.
Right. And it's like a
Everywhere.
magnet. I mean, because
really
it's that
is, yeah.
center,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's
and-
preserved and it's
We're
reenacted.
past 2 hours.
Oh
oh
well.
gosh.
Yeah, we're past.
Yeah.
Dave's big-
So,
and
I
unfortunately,
want
big-winded
to
we would go
thank
all
everybody.
night,
we got
but-
to end sometime. We
we
could
gotta
talk all
end.
night.
We
I
could.
mean, if I
Yeah.
let
Oh,
Steve
good.
go, we'd be in,
That
it's
just
gonna be
means we need a
coming up.
part 2.
you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
Yeah,
have
we gotta
another
definitely do a
show,
part
so.
2. Oh man, this is good.
Oh,
Um,
people in
we had a great
the
time.
audience are asking for part 2 already. So
Yeah, we got a part 2. You
There's
know?
a ton more history we can talk about,
This-
man.
we got to
Yes.
start like at 1 o'clock in the
Okay.
afternoon to end at 10.
yeah.
So
Well, how
I
about
want to thank
we go
everybody
down
in the
there?
audience. You guys
Absolutely.
were
Come down.
wonderful. Steve,
Thank
Tiffany,
you.
you guys were.
I'd love to.
Thank
It
you.
was
Yeah,
great.
thank you so much. This is
Yeah,
great.
Thank
that
you for
was
having us.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That
It's
clip you gave
fascinating.
us was, I mean, that was great with the candles
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the history of the
I
place,
still am
and
like,
Yeah.
can't explain it.
We could go on.
I'm gonna
for
watch it 100
hours.
more times.
Yeah.
we can. So
If you
I
want to
just want
post
to
the link, Anthony, for folks, you're welcome
Oh, yeah.
to.
give
we
the
don't-
link
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Just tell us everything.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll
Tell us
I'll
everything.
find the link because it's actually not even public. We didn't share that for a number of years, because it was the escape room. So when we got it, we're like, oh my god, we can't show this to anybody because then people would know what the escape room looks like. And so it's like it was this like
no.
horrible catch
I
22.
love that.
We're like,
so
oh my
much.
god, this is so cool. We can't share this. So there was a long time where we couldn't share it, but now we can. So I'll send you the link, Anthony, and you can
Okay.
post it there as well, for sure.
Yeah, well, you said it to me now. I'm not gonna be able to bring it up.
Well,
That's
I'll send it
okay.
to you, and then you can post it as like
You
a
can
comment
post-
or anything
Yes,
like
yeah,
that
Yeah.
later.
We'll put it
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
can
Good,
post it
good,
on our
yes.
site. Yeah, sure.
Like I said, I want to thank you guys for coming on. It was awesome,
Super.
and
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having
the
us.
show. I mean, we still with the
Unbelievable.
evidence and the history and everything.
I know.
I think all three of us are like, wow.
I feel smarter.
Yeah, well, I
so
wish I
nice
could say
to meet
that.
you both. Really nice to meet you
Yeah.
It was
both.
nice
Thank
meeting
you
Yes,
you
so
guys.
nice to
much.
meeting you guys too. Thank you.
Yes,
Love to come and join us. And
yeah. The guys don't go
tavern
nowhere.
sometime.
I would love
Okay.
to. Love to.
Love
Don't
to.
go
Okay.
now. I'm going to give the ending thing, and then we'll, a couple minutes
Hey,
afterwards.
don't forget. You got to be
Okay.
safe.
Yeah. Now everybody.
Let him do it.
We can, we
Let
can
me
end
do it. Did
We can
you
end
say
it.
that?
You want to do it? Go ahead, Jenny. It's you.
No, I was just reminding you.
Oh,
sweetheart.
thank you. Okay. I want to tell everybody out there, when you go on investigations, make sure you stay safe because you want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost. Forget about it. Ciao, familiar.
Forget about it.
Forget
Bye.
about it.
Hey, how you doing?